Hello, welcome to QuaranCon 2020. I'm Brad from the Cinema Guys. I'm here with Jason from History About Ideas.
Hello, hello.
You're with Kevin from Nerdly Out Loud and 365 Flicks.
Yo.
How are you gentlemen doing? Yeah, this is the pregame. This is just to get everybody warmed up and ready to go is what this is.
That's right.
Before we bring on the awesome guests that we have this evening, like everything I learned from movies, Mist Comics, the Shepherd comic. We're going to have some trivia.
And I just want to let you know, because here's some of the trivia prizes tonight. We got that. Ooh. We got Funko Pops.
Very nice.
We got Muscle Wrestlers, the WWE version or WWF version.
Wow. I used to have a ton of those when I was a kid.
Very nice.
Look at those. This is also for listeners, too. If we send out some questions or trivia during the night, they can win some of these prizes. This is a beauty. Look at that. The Hail Hydra board game.
Nice.
Look at that. We're classy. And this is 18 pounds of comic books almost. Actually, it's about 10 pounds worth of comic books. This is from Dev and the great guys at Source Point Press. They sent several of these over. So
okay.
I don't know how much shipping is going to be on those, but if you win them, we will ship them out. So, but Kevin, you excited? You got some panels tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't expecting to jump on right now, to be honest. I was just going to sit in the green room and listen to you.
Well, we can kick you out if you don't want to be on.
No, I'll give you 5 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, you have some great panels tomorrow.
Yeah, man. I had to pull out the bag for you guys.
You have the actresses from Host, the movie that's on Shudder. I'm pretty excited to watch that one. And then you have director Tom Patton.
Yeah, Peyton. Oh,
Peyton. Okay, sorry, my bad. No, my fault. If he's watching, I apologize.
No, it's cool. I did the same thing the first time I interviewed him, so it's all good.
No, I'm looking forward to it, especially the Host one. So, what's up?
You guys done a cracking job so far getting all this together. So I had to bring in some good guests for you.
Well, thank you.
Brad is the MVP of this. Brad, good job, Brad.
I don't know. You did a lot of stuff too. Like it was a joint effort.
It was. Awesome. I don't know how people do a real Cincinnati convention, like a real convention.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we're only just a short day today, and a little bit longer tomorrow, and I couldn't imagine putting on an entire weekend where you have just thousands of people showing up to do this.
I was exhausted just from helping you try to get everybody, and then from Kevin jumping on. So, but no, we're pretty packed tomorrow too. We're from 11 a.m. till 5. And we're pretty much packed all the way through. I think Steve and Izzy actually are going to jump in on the pregame too, because I have to jump out for an hour, but I'll be back. I promise. I'm not leaving you by yourself, Brad. I promise. But yeah, Steve and Izzy are jumping on here. They're going to do a panel at 5:45.
Yes.
I believe it's the rise of African Americans in comics and movies. So they're going to be jumping on for that. And so, yeah, it's going to be a good show tonight. I'm excited about it. And then we got some G.I. Joe trivia at 6:30.
We do. We got some G.I. Joe trivia, and we'll have other trivia and games throughout. Like I have my Cinephile ready to pull out if we ever need to, get a game in there. And I have other trivia just kind of laying around here. So,
and 10 pounds of comic books to give away.
10 pounds of comic books to give away
from Source Point Press. Look at that.
You don't know what's in there. It's a mystery bag.
I have no idea. Let me see what else they got here. Oh, there's a lesser bag of comics or something.
That one's only 5.
Maybe 3.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I didn't even know they had all this. Look at this, Rod and Tail. Look at that. Their
movie.
Their first feature film. Look at that.
Well, has anybody seen this movie?
I have not seen this.
They had
movie.
a red carpet.
Yeah.
Source Point Press also does games. So we got cards. Look at that. Some card games
Very nice.
from their extension of Deep Water Games. Look at that. My goodness.
You guys.
We're also gonna try to jump to Paper Street at some point too, and talk to them because they're going to be coming on with us, periodically through today and tomorrow.
I mean, I'll be honest. I may just keep some of these. Look at this. Another game. Another Rod and Tail. So we're pretty excited about that. I don't know. Look at this. I might send this over to Tom just so he can take a look at it too. Get it over in Britain.
Oh yeah, man, get it sent.
You can send it over to me. I love watching horror movies. So
look at that. You gotta beat trivia. You gotta win in trivia. Say, hey, look at that film. Yeah, you got it. He's excited. He's excited for it. Rod and Tail. So we'll be giving these away. I'm excited. This is about Rod and Tail is about a psychotic bunny that goes pretty much crazy on people. So, are we allowed cursing on this? Not that I want to, but I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm not going to stop you if it comes out. So I'm just,
I'm not going to.
Tomorrow we're going to have a little bit of a kid-friendly time, so I would keep it on the down low during that time. But
okay, we'll keep it PG at that time. My bad on that. Kevin, how many people from the host are coming on?
Oh God, 5. Yeah.
Oh, geez. Okay.
That's gonna be fun.
And that's
I'm really excited for that.
I'm looking forward to it. They're awesome girls. All 5 of them are absolutely amazing. But I've not really done a round table with more than 2 or 3 people, so it's going to be super interesting.
Well, I'll be sitting in the background with you in the green room if you just make some signal if you need someone to jump in and help you.
I'll throw up the WWE X.
Yeah.
I thought you were going for life.
It should be good, man. It should be fun. Like I say, they're real cool. Can talk for days, so it should be fun.
I do like that Tom is coming on, director, and Brad, you're actually interviewing Epic the pictures.
Epic Pictures, yeah, Epic Pictures, and Ulissa, who is the director of distribution for Epic Pictures and Dread Presents. She's going to come on and talk about what movies they have coming and everything else. They released a couple of my favorite indie horror movies this past year in Candy Corn, which we got to screen here in Cincinnati at the Esquire, and the director is from Cincinnati, so it was kind of like a homecoming being able to screen it here, and he came out and talked to the crowd. And then Uncle Peckerhead, which just came out a few months ago, which a horror comedy that I loved it. It's so funny.
Great film.
Do you feel like Candy Corn is just because everybody hates candy corn? Is that why? Because there's nobody that likes candy corn. Do you have candy corn in England, Kevin?
I don't know. I don't know what it would be over here.
It's like, do you know what it looks like? It looks like Satan. And it's red, orange, and white. It's black and brown, orange, and white. It's awful. It is horrible.
Nah, you can keep that.
Grandma used to give that to us. And it tastes like wax.
Oh,
so,
very nice. Very nice.
So. And then we do have a free period, don't we? From 3:30 to 4, is that correct?
Yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow we have one open slot that will probably be. I mean, I don't know. We're working on something maybe to fill in there, but if not, then we'll just be playing games and stuff.
If not, I would like to take 30 minutes of that to talk about how perfect The Last Jedi is as a film, top to bottom. Top to bottom.
Well, I mean, we had a few messages back and forth, and it there were a couple scenes that make it don't quite put it at the perfect moment. Like Leia Poppins is one.
Leia Poppins. And Kevin is a big fan of Last Jedi, so that's good. So I'm happy with that.
No, I'm not.
I mean, I just rewatched it again yesterday, and I mean, I absolutely love The Last Jedi. I know it has its haters, and the first time I saw it, I will admit I was a little conflicted with it because it is a different Star Wars film. But I mean, I love it. I truly do.
If by different you mean it's not a Star Wars film, then yeah, you're right.
But it is a Star Wars film.
It's not, though, is it? It's really.
I love that I have to leave and I just stroke the flames of a fight.
Yeah, you did.
And then I'm out.
You're like Last Jedi is great. Well, see you later.
Jedi's awesome. See you guys. I'm out. Intern Hackney's on. Welcome, Intern Hackney, from the History of Bad Ideas podcast there. Kevin would not come over from England, so we had to fill the intern spot. So, Kevin, I'm sorry. Brian took it over.
What are you going to do?
I mean, my co-host Justin, he's watching us too.
Yeah, I think they all want Rodentail. You see this?
I would say my co-host is watching, but he's been missing for about 6 months. So,
should we be concerned?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm the talent.
He took quarantine to the extreme of like, you're not gonna find me.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right, guys, I'm gonna let you crack on. I'm gonna get myself away, but I'm gonna be watching throughout the night. And honestly, good luck with everything. And can't wait till tomorrow.
Oh, I can't either. I'm so excited. Thank you for jumping on and getting the guests that you have tomorrow.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Super excited for it.
Just. Yeah, it should be fun. But I'll let one of you kick me out because I don't know how to get out.
All right. We'll talk to you later. See you, Kevin.
See you later, guys.
Okay. I have to leave too. I don't want you by yourself, Brad.
I know you're gonna leave me all by myself.
I'm not trying.
Nobody's showing up already.
I'm trying to get Intern Hackney in here. Intern, click the link. Get in there. Steve and Izzy are coming on here in like 5 minutes. So in the meantime, Brad, do you want to play a couple games? And
sure, let's do it.
If you want to take over some games, I will jump out of here. I'll be back. But here's what we're playing for. Got Claim from Deepwater Games. And then there's Jim. Jim is on there too. Jim, jump on in here. Give that link and help out Brad here while I have to jump out for a second. We got Claim for Deepwater Games. We got 2 of those we'll give away. And you know what, Brad? You're a big horror guy. Let's give away Rodentail right now too.
Yeah.
3 things.
I kind of want to see this Rodentail. I'm gonna have to.
I'll save you a
copy.
copy.
Look it up.
I'll save you a copy. So, I'll be back. Do I just say out? What do I do? I'm trapped here.
Well, I can take you off, and then so we're playing some trivia right now. I got to come up with some trivia questions. Is what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah. You do it, Brad, because you're awesome. I will be back.
Okay.
Steve and Izzy are coming on here. Don't leave anybody. We'll be back.
I see him right there. Right after I get rid of you, I'm going to bring them in.
Sounds good. Oh, thanks.
All right, now that he's gone, I'll bring in the real
Yeah,
talent.
you got Jason out of here finally.
I know. Finally got rid of him, so now I can bring Steve and Izzy from Everything I Learned from Movies on.
Yeah. Yeah, get Shopper's tits.
Yeah, exactly. Show off them moneymakers.
How are y'all doing?
Great.
Good. How about you, Brad?
So far, so good. I mean, I'm obviously we're just getting things kicked off. We just want people to get on, and I mean, you're going to have a great discussion coming up here in just a little bit.
Yeah.
We're excited for it. Yeah, thanks for putting this all on and everything.
Yeah.
You guys are doing great.
Yeah.
So far so good.
So far so good. I mean, I haven't crashed and burned in the first 20 minutes, so
they say it's the roughest 20 minutes,
Well, yeah, It's right when you start, you just kind of sit there and be like, okay, is anyone going to watch this? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, send out all the right links. Yeah. Yeah, we started doing our on Izzy's Untidy Venus Facebook page.
Yep.
We've been doing like live art sales once a month.
Mhm.
And
Facebook is already trying to suppress us.
already doing it. It's already fantastically fun that way. But yeah, like the first one we did, it was like, wait, where is everybody? Like people said they were going to be here. Then it's like, oh wait, they think it's Facebook Live for the, I think I was running it through mine instead of or something, and it's like, oh shoot, I gotta like let people know.
I think that's the hardest part, especially because we all do this on our own. We're indie podcasters and indie creators, so we don't have the big money behind us of promotion and all that stuff. So it's
we don't. I know you guys do. You guys have all the
of course,
funding,
yeah.
I mean, yes, on behalf of we small timers, no. And thanks for the shout out, Jim. We are definitely much more attractive than Jason. I know we always, whenever we're on History of Bad Ideas, we always rob them the opportunity to see our beautiful faces. They just get to hear our angelic voices.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Voice of a goddamn songbird.
That's right.
I just like to go on and tout how great the Snyder Cut's going to be when it comes out, just to see Jason's face of like,
Oh, did you hear? Allegedly, New Mutants came out. I don't know if you guys heard about this.
I still don't believe it.
Yeah. Say if
want proof.
It's not on my TV. It never existed.
Yeah. I
think summer of 2016.
I think this pandemic was created by them so they could say that they released it, and nobody knows because we're not going to the theater.
Yeah. We finally have a captive audience, but no, we're not going to release it like on streaming or anything quite yet. No. We got to get our...
We can't let people see that before they pay for it. Come on.
We got to release the butthole cut or whatever.
Oh, for cats.
Yes.
See, Kevin's on board with me for the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, he wants to see those buttholes too.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're talking about Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman.
Yep, all of them.
I'm actually really curious about the cyborg butthole.
Right? I mean, is that going to be one of his human parts, or is it going to be like some sort of telescoping?
Oh, it's going to open. It's going to be like a red light.
Ooh. I don't know if I want to see that.
Oh, you want to see it.
So here in a little bit, you guys are going to be talking about the rise of the Black superhero.
Correct. Yeah, we about a year and a half ago we celebrated February by having Black Superhero Month, and yeah, I mean I had seen most of them since I was a wee lad, but there were a couple where it was like, oh, I didn't know this existed, and so watched it. And,
in fact, Steve made fan art in its honor.
That's true. You can find these at untidyvenus.etsy.com. I made this little picture of, I think just about all of them are in there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You got Blank Man, Meteor Man.
Oh, yeah, you got
Blank
A-Bar.
Man. Wow.
You got A-Bar, Black Superman. You got Steel. You got Pootie Tang. All the big ones.
Blade.
Of course, you got Blade. Everybody
even Hancock.
Hancock.
Everybody forgets about Hancock and cats running around breaking shit.
I actually just rewatched that movie probably about 2 weeks ago. It had been quite a few
Blade
years.
Hancock. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I remember being okay.
Yeah, it was one of those, like, it starts off really, really good, and then that second half, it just kind of fizzles out.
Yeah, it's a lot of emotions and shit. I don't want that, especially in a Peter Berg movie.
Wait. They had Stephen King. They had the Stephen King issue. Couldn't find an ending.
No.
Turned out with aliens the whole time.
Yep.
So we got the question: Shaft, is he a superhero?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's not on the list because technically, I mean, that's like saying like Riggs from Lethal Weapon is a superhero or something.
True.
Which, I mean, compared to regular humans, absolutely, but in the context of superheroes.
But I am a fan of the theory that Shaft is actually like the great grandson of Django.
Yes.
Have you heard about that one?
No.
So apparently, the lady, oh my gosh, Hildy Hildebrand von Himmelgabelstrap, his
From
girlfriend
Django.
in the movie. Yeah, I forget that. But the last name is like Himmelschaft or something like that. And so Tarantino, after the movie came out, was like, oh yeah, that's because, a couple generations down, the name gets just shortened to Shaft. And so John Shaft is like their great grandson.
You're
I'm okay with
damn
it.
right.
Yeah. Oh man, we got to do the Shaft sequels on our
We gotta do
podcast
all
one
the
of these
Shafts.
days.
Yes.
Oh gosh, all the remakes and reboots.
Do we do Steel again because it has the Shaft reference? Also, there's a cat jumping around right behind the computer. So
Yeah.
if we suddenly look very scared, it's because cats are trying to kill themselves behind you.
Our cats. What are our cats' name?
Real
Cameron
quick.
Poe, Nicolas Cage.
That's right.
No. Real quick, I guess, you could just tell, since you're on with us, tell us about Everything I Learned from Movies, the podcast. What do you guys... obviously, if it's Everything I Learned from Movies, you're probably talking movies, correct?
Oh, yes.
Correct. Yes.
I'm just guessing there. I'm just guessing.
Our particular forte is we genuinely enjoy movies that most people consider bad. So we justify bad movies and we review good beers because we're also BJCP certified beer judges.
There's no such thing as a bad movie. Bad movies are my crux. I love them more than anything.
Someone hasn't seen Pearl Harbor in a while.
Somebody never saw Born to Be a Porn Star.
Oh, Bucky Larson? Yeah.
Even Christina Ricci couldn't save that movie.
I mean, I have not seen Bucky Larson. I've heard it is terrible.
If you really, really want to put your There's No Bad Movies to the test, I will watch every Neil Breen movie before I watch that again.
Okay.
And if you listen to our review,
that's not true.
I can't believe it. I can't believe you would do it. I cannot.
Here's the question: is there such a thing as a bad beer? I think.
Yes. Oh, we've made some bad beers.
Even good beer, if it's been like mishandled or whatever, it turns bad surprisingly quickly sometimes. But yeah. But yeah, we do that. We've also had the pleasure of doing a lot of great interviews with guys like John C. McGinley and Dana Gould and Thomas Jane and Sven-Ole Thorsen, which was our first and one of my biggest kind of heroes growing up.
Steve is his biggest fan.
For those of you who don't know who Sven-Ole Thorsen is, have you seen Mallrats? He plays LaFours.
Okay.
If you've ever seen an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, you've probably seen him. Like in Running Man, he plays Sven, Richard Dawson's like right-hand guy. Basically, he's like world's strongest man from like 1983, this like Danish king of a man. Mm-hmm. I know him, though, because there was a little television series called Captain Power and Soldiers of the Future that was on for like a year in 1987. And apparently I got Canadian TV living in Utah because... he was in that. He Tank and Google it. It's pretty sweet.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's where I like knew him from. And then like when Mallrats came out, it's like holy shit, it's Tank.
Gladiator. He's Tigress.
Yeah, Gladiator. He plays Tigress, the like gladiator that comes out of retirement. Russell Crowe gets him, but spoiler.
Speaking of superheroes, here is one of my co-hosts. We got the Cinemaiden in her like secret disguise.
I just have my mask on and my sunglasses because it's sunny outside.
It could be anybody with those glasses and mask, though.
I know.
I am anybody. I'm Elijah Wood from Sin City, minus the teeth.
Yeah. Oh, you're touching a sore nerve with my wife. She does not care for Elijah Wood.
I've not liked Elijah Wood since The Good Son. He is a creepy motherfucker, and Sin City only confirmed everything for me.
He plays a perfect creepy like guy.
He just looks creepy.
He plays him like look at Maniac when he did the remake of Maniac. He was.
She's telling her she has to watch that movie, and I haven't yet either. But there's so many other movies we have to watch first, though.
I know, right? Who else is going to watch House of a Thousand Cats?
That's true. Actual episode we did.
Not a thousand cats. I was. We were ripped off.
It's better than House of Dozens of Cats.
I've never even. That's a real movie. House of a Thousand Cats,
starring Hugo Stiglitz. That is the actor's name.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it's from like the 70s, made in Mexico. Like half the movie is helicopter shots of Mexico City, and the rest is at a castle. Yeah, check it out. I'm sure it's streaming anywhere.
An okay time.
Sounds like something I'd probably watch.
Yeah, I'd probably watch that.
Yeah. Oh, actually, speaking of our podcast, we have our 250th quote-unquote episode coming up on Tuesday. We talk about prophecy because we're celebrating October, a month of Killer Bear movies.
Not the prophecy.
Yeah.
Oh, so not the prophecy. Okay, I was thinking the prophecy from like the 90s.
No, this one's late 70s. This one's Armand Asante is a Native American.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mutant bear going around killing things.
Oh.
One of the greatest deaths in cinema history.
Oh my God, so much bear slapping. I love bear slapping in a movie, it turns out.
The bear slap decapitations, always a good thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just watched today, Big Freaking Rat. Which, I mean, the title right there says exactly what it is. It's just a bad movie with a big freaking rat.
I'm going to be really disappointed if it's an above average mouse.
Because we have big freaking rats.
Oh, yeah, we do. Oh, that's another thing, is he has, how many rats? 17? 18?
16,
16?
We lost one.
A lot of rats.
Well, make sure you don't pour any nuclear waste on them so that they mutate into a killer eating machine.
I'm gonna go check something.
He's going to be right back just to make sure our stockpile isn't dangling precariously above them. So the cats can knock it over. That's how it would happen. I'm sorry, Cinema Maiden, are you driving right now?
Yes.
So you're on with this while you're driving.
I'm not driving. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm being driven.
Okay. That's okay.
She has her driver handling it.
Yes,
I was about to say that is a level of dedication beyond me.
I mean, when you're a superhero like she is, I mean, you get driven around.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Also, jobless and without a car, you get driven around a lot.
The Cinemated just moved back from South Korea back here.
Oh, welcome back.
Yeah.
Did you make a wise choice?
Yeah.
No.
Last night was our first recording together as a group in over a year because she was away.
Oh, wow.
So it was quite nice.
Nice. Excellent. Well, congratulations and welcome back.
It was nice.
You're just in time.
Thank you. just in time. I'm very confused by many things that are happening here because it was totally different over there.
Yeah, I can.
So are we.
Understand that.
So
are we. Wear a mask, everybody. Be like Cinemaiden.
Yes.
Wear a mask while you live stream, especially because you don't want to.
Maybe. That's just awesome.
Hey, dude, it's my thing. I don't show my face.
I know.
Should I go get you everything I learned from movies mask?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I see we got a couple that still officially.
Anyone watching, I'm going to say throw some questions in there that you want to ask us. I'm going to try to get Paper Street on with us here soon. We're going to go over there just because I know they have a few things going this weekend while we are doing this. So.
Yeah. Send us your questions. I consider myself an expert in just about anything. So
I'm not an expert in anything. I'm just okay. Well, this is a valid question. Where's my other co-host? I think he is driving right now as well too. So
not in the same car though.
No, not in the same car. It's kind of that time, 5:00 here that I think everyone's kind of in between wherever, it's just that time of the night.
Yeah.
And you all are located where?
We're in Utah. So
okay.
Mountain time. So it's what, 3:30 or something like that here? Yeah. I'm born and raised in Utah, went and lived in California, like San Francisco and Tahoe area for about a decade. And we just moved back about a year and a half ago.
Oh.
Or as I like to say, just in time.
Well, I grew up in Colorado, born in Wyoming, raised in Colorado, and I actually went off and I lived in San Francisco for a little bit too before I moved back to Colorado, and then now I'm in Cincinnati.
Nice, excellent. Well, yeah, living in San Francisco is definitely one of those things you should do while you could afford to, which is no longer the case.
Yeah. Like, I loved it there. I absolutely loved it there, but yeah, I kind of priced myself out of there. Got a little expensive.
Yeah, it happens. One moment.
I love that I've started a trend of face masks.
You did. I don't have a mask anywhere here by me, so I can't join in.
I do like this. We're just setting examples. When I would teach online, I would wear a mask in the beginning to show the kids a good example of what you should do.
And everyone is wearing it properly.
What's on your mask?
Over the nose.
If you can see my mask, we have a little Wakanda Forever going on. Got some
nice.
Black Panther going on.
Some Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, Captain Marvel.
Can you still hear us?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
You're not too muffled.
All right, we'll probably take it off for the panel, but it's in solidarity with Cinemaiden.
Yeah.
I appreciate.
I don't have my aviators.
Just like this. Is that what I got to do?
There we go.
No.
Hold on.
No.
I need to find my AirPods. Excuse me for just 1 second.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna drop her out, and then when she comes back in with her AirPods, I will put her on.
Perfect.
So, any questions? What's going on here? We're gonna give it back to the people.
The purple. Get ready, sign you weenies. Can't little muffin
Why we pod from the Fortress of Solitude.
Right, we're in the basement of our Fortress of Solitude on the side of a mountain,
surrounded by our panthers.
Your panthers.
They're ornamental panthers, Steve.
And our loyal army of rats.
Rat Army.
Let's see. I haven't heard from Paper Street about coming on. They were supposed to come on at 5:30, but that's what happens when it's live. Things just happen.
A lot of
you
traffic
just roll with it.
Super highway,
Yeah. You just roll with it and you just keep going.
Yeah. So tell us about Cinema Guys.
Well, we are just another movie podcast because there are none of those out there.
There's like maybe.
And we're just three friends that just love talking movies. It's myself, Justin, and the Cinemaiden. We get together and just chat movies. We have fun doing it. That's what it's all about.
You guys do like themes, or is like somebody picks every other week, or
we are every other week, and it's most of the time we try to keep like a current release, and then we do like top lists to kind of start things off. Then we talk about the movie. A lot of times our list, we try to incorporate it with what we're talking about. Like our new episode that's coming out next week is on the 40-year-old version.
Yeah.
And we did our list was black and white films because 40-year-old version is all in black and white. So we were like kind of tied it together, and then
wait, 40-year-old
version, not virgin.
Okay. I'm like, something might be wrong with your TV.
Kind of throws people off a little bit.
I was like, oh yeah, totally seen that. Wait, nope, apparently not.
Yeah, it just came on Netflix last week. It was a big Sundance hit that Netflix purchased and put it on there.
I was gonna guess it was one of those asylum movies like Transmorphers or something, Atlantic Rim or something. It's like technically we're not
movie.
Or what was that?
I think we lost the Cinemaiden again.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's what happens when you're live.
There was a movie that just came out on Amazon Prime that was called Spiral, and we're
yes.
Wait, is this that new Jigsaw movie? And it's like made by total nobodies, and it's like, Huh.
It's an indie movie that came out in 2020 called Spiral.
Yeah, because I think it's on Shudder is where I think it's a Shudder movie because I saw it. I haven't watched it yet, but it was one of those like, is it the Saw spinoff? And then it was like, no, it's not.
Yeah, is it like Chris Rock and Sam Jackson? Is it like no? Somebody trying to cash in beforehand.
Yeah,
good for them. You know what? Good for them.
Yeah, they'll get a few views. Maybe it's good.
And I will say my at-home streaming is definitely increased.
Oh
yes, everyone's has, right?
Oh yeah,
whose consumption is up.
So how many television series are you watching at this time?
Actually, I watch more movies than television series. I tend to get bored with a series and then I move on.
Nice.
I want my 2 to 2.5 hours, and then I can move on to something else.
Yeah, we basically started with Tiger King and everything when that came out. Then we did Star Trek Next Generation,
because we weren't sure if we'd seen all of them, but we grew up in that era, and so let's get caught up. And it was like, okay, I never saw the one where Troy got impregnated by a sparkle. That's cool. I didn't see the one where Crusher fell in love with the ghost of her grandma's boyfriend. That's cool.
Where Wesley Crusher killed a man and got away with it because boys will be boys.
Picard got him off with the boys will be boys defense.
I think we got the Cinemaiden back.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're fine.
And now
we're just talking about the ramp up of watching during this pandemic time. I know you watch more series than movies. I'm opposite. I watch more movies than television.
I watch
series.
A lot of TV.
Like I know Cinemaiden is watching through. What is it you're watching right now? You're getting through.
3 different shows: Supernatural, Schitt's Creek, and Criminal Minds.
Well, I know between Supernatural and Criminal Minds, you only have about 1,000 more episodes to go.
Well, I'm on season 14 in Supernatural. I just had 1 season to catch up with it. Criminal Minds, I think I'm on 10. Is that 8? No, 9.
So only like 15 more to go.
Yeah.
I just feel like that show's been on forever. Is Grey's Anatomy still on TV? I feel like I saw commercials for it
I think they're in their final season or something. I don't know.
I think I jumped ship on that like after season 3.
Which was back in like 1998, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember like watching something recently and it's like a very special Grey's Anatomy. I'm like, what? Is that still a thing? Is this Guiding Light now? Yeah.
Yes, it's apparently a thing. They are on getting ready season 17.
Wow. Good for McDreamy. I'm sure he's still on it.
363 episodes.
Jesus Christ.
Speaking
low for...
Speaking of a show that's been on for a while, The Simpsons. I mean that's they've been on for a while.
Oh yeah, weren't they gonna end it like this year or next year?
I think they're signed through like 34 seasons, which is like 2 years.
They were going to end it in 40, I think.
I don't know. I really haven't watched it since like season 22, maybe.
And it really hasn't been good since like season 12.
It's funny moment.
I haven't watched it consistently. It's like spotty episode here and there. Like, I mean, it's one of those that it's been around so long. I mean, I was 14 when it started, so
I know it used to come on after the Wonder Years. Our family would sit around and watch both.
That's a good back-to-back right there,
right?
I don't know why that got me thinking about Quantum Leap, but I'm like, we should start watching Quantum Leap.
We should start watching Quantum Leap. I love Quantum Leap. I personally have been watching Rockford Files and Murder, She Wrote because I like old people shows.
I haven't watched too much. Like I'm watching Ted Lasso on Apple TV Plus, which is an excellent show. It's only 10 episodes though. And then I started Lovecraft Country, which is right up my alley of like weird horror craziness, but I haven't finished it yet.
Now, see, as a movie lover, you should go watch some of these like late 70s, early 80s shows like Murder, She Wrote and Magnum P.I. and all of that, because everybody in it is like is somebody, and I don't just mean like everybody's a somebody. No. Like the bartender is like, holy shit, was that guy big in the 50s?
Is that random
Sorry,
bar
guys.
patron James Woods?
My driver is going insane.
Your driver is
was
going
doing-
insane.
He just did a completely uncomfortable maneuver.
Mm.
Hmm.
You need to tell your driver they need to settle down. We need the Cinemaiden
Brad,
for
what did you say?
future episodes.
We do.
Yeah.
We kill our Cinemaiden.
Yeah. So you guys like TV shows? What if you could go to a
Uh-oh.
deserted island? What TV show would you take with you? Only one TV show.
Deserted Island. What TV show?
Everybody.
Probably The Simpsons, just because there's so much to enjoy.
Yeah.
So much to consider.
You'd have plenty to watch.
Yeah, there's a lot to go.
Oh yeah. If you put it on like shuffle or something, then it's like, oh, one of these may actually be good. And then next you go, it's not like you get to like season 24 and it's like, all right, I better start making a raft or something to get out of here.
Yeah.
How about you, Ben?
I think I might have to go with Rockford Files.
Rockford Files is a good one.
There's a good amount of content. Rockford Files.
Rockford Files. What's that?
James Garner as a private detective in Los Angeles, constantly getting head injuries and flipping U-turns in his Firebird.
It's before the Cinemaiden's
Is it
time.
Jennifer Garner's dad?
Yes.
I don't think that's true, but
we're gonna say it is.
Yeah.
Just
yeah, you know what? I'll buy it.
I'd almost say maybe Jennifer Garner's grandpa.
It sounds like it would
How old was he?
Probably grandpa.
Probably grandpa.
Yeah. He passed away at like 80.
Wait, they are related though, right?
I honestly don't know.
I don't even know if it's spelled the same.
Oh yeah, it's spelled the same. So yeah, that's why it's like I never even thought of it actually, but maybe. It's all right. I'm just waiting for the Rockford Files movie to come out eventually, or a series, maybe starring Vince Vaughn as Rockford.
Yes, Vince Vaughn would make a great Rockford. James Garner had to give up the show because his Korean War injuries were bothering him too much to do his own stunts. And Hawaii Five-0 was also ending, and so the networks were going, oh man, what are we going to do to replace these two iconic shows? We'll merge them together and make Magnum P.I.
Thanks, Jeff. No relation.
No relation.
Good to know. I didn't know that.
And Zach, yes, that was the Notebook.
With the wife that had Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to bring it down there, Zach. No.
As if you've seen My Fellow Americans, he's the Republican.
I have not seen My Fellow Americans.
Oh, you should. It's pretty good.
Jack Lemmon, James Garner,
Dan Aykroyd.
Yes.
All his presidents.
No, I think we had the Cinemaiden. She's frozen.
I fucking love that movie so much. If you guys want to see Dan Aykroyd just be like off the rails, that's a good one.
Follow him on Twitter.
Follow his Twitter.
One of the best presidential movies ever made.
It really is.
Oh, we lost her.
Oh, they have their "Hail to the Chiefs" lyrics.
Well, I don't think Paper Street is jumping on right now. We can get into your superhero talk if you want to start a little early.
Yeah, let's do it.
Woo!
I guess first and foremost, has anyone ever heard of a bar Black Superman, 1977?
It's a bar first Black Superman.
Okay, first Black Superman then.
I have not.
It is currently streaming on Tubi. You should check it out. This was the earliest version. It's a blaxploitation movie. Yes, it made in '77 from director Frank Packard.
Who's that, Steve?
Well, this is the only movie he made. So,
no one knows.
But it's basically about like this doctor who's working on this like Captain America type serum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there's like a local guy who he experiments with, who's like a leader in the community kind of a thing.
He's definitely not a pimp, but I'm pretty sure he's a pimp.
I mean, he might be. And but it just kind of goes from there. It sounds like it's a goofy kind of thing. It's actually not that goofy. There are a lot of N-words dropped. There's like kids ran over in cars.
Hashtag child murder.
But the third act, when Abar becomes aware of his powers and how to use them, gets a little out there. Okay. I highly recommend checking it out. Again, streaming on Tubi, so it's free. You know, everybody has Tubi, right? All you gotta do is like download it.
Yeah, install it. Your Tubi.
Yeah, but
it's fantastic. The racist neighbors actually are super scary.
Yeah.
And
that's the next one I really know of is The Meteor Man with Robert Townsend, 1993.
I watched it back when it came out, but I don't really remember it. So
me too. I remember it being along the same lines, you know, saving the community. It's all about that. Like when a meteor lands and Robert Townsend gets these superpowers, and I forget where the outfit comes from, but I actually tried looking up like, oh man, I should really watch this before the panel. Can't find that shit anywhere. Like you could get like a bootleg version on Amazon for like $40, and they'll probably.
Jeez.
Some guy in Canada will like rip you a copy he taped off of TBS Superstation.
Yeah. But yeah, like
not how we got your Carrie show at all. I don't know why you'd say that.
Yeah, that's not it.
Sorry.
Yeah, where are you now? That's weird.
Because I'm the best. Shut up, Steve.
Yeah. But yeah, like the cast in it though, obviously Robert Townsend, but it's like James Earl Jones, Don Cheadle's in it, Eddie Griffin, Sinbad, the Riddler himself, Frank Gorshin.
Woo!
Check it out. But I guess the first one most people have probably seen though is Blank Man, right?
I have seen Blank Man, yes.
Love Blank Man.
Blank Man is so much fun.
I mean, that was back when Damon Wayans was coming out with Major Pain, Blank Man, Booty Call,
Boy Scout.
Yeah, he was like the guy.
He was the Wayans.
Yeah, he was the Wayans at that time.
Yeah, and like David Alan Grier, of course, is great in it. Jason Alexander.
Jason Alexander.
John Polito. Yeah, I mean, Robin Givens is even decent in it before she screwed over Mike Tyson. There, I said it.
What? No,
I don't know. Yeah, you can find that pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, that's like
it's pretty readily available. Yeah, I highly recommend checking it out. But again,
go down to your local Hollywood Video and pick up a copy. Wait, what? Is that not a thing anymore?
I don't. What year is it? No.
I think I did rent it from a local Blockbuster the first time I watched it.
Excellent.
Yeah, probably. Oh, cat.
Steve's about to have a cat in his lap.
No, he's not. That's why he's holding the cat down. But again, like the central theme of it is basically, you know, an idiot genius played by Damon Wayans. Yeah, you know, engineers all this cool stuff to help save his community and protect people, and you know, be a good guy. And it's
and his
standard thing.
Grandma or his mom makes his outfit.
Yeah, the bed sheets and shit. Yeah. But of course, the first comic book superhero came out. Everybody knows.
Oh yeah.
Of course, it's Steel.
Yeah.
Right.
You remember Steel?
Yeah, I guess it beat Spawn by a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah, technically the first was it the first major motion picture? No, or the first comic book adaptation? For Black Superhero?
But yeah, with like DC and stuff. Yeah, totally.
Because it came out of that time because I was really into like DC Comics and like the death of Superman and the reign of Superman when he was part of it, and they were like, they're gonna make a Steel movie, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. He was cool in the comics, and the movie wasn't that good.
It was completely different. It was very loosely based on that, but he does get a finger Annabeth Gish on screen a couple of times. So
yeah, and he gets a shaft. And he gets a shaft stroked.
Yeah, well,
I really like the Shaft.
Richard Roundtree really liked the Shaft.
The most memorable line from that movie.
No, but it's I don't know. We watched it again last year. It's not that bad. It's not at all based on John Henry Irons III or whatever.
Oh, no.
From
It's more based on Space Jam.
Yeah. It's basically Blank Man, a man in a 7'3", 330-pound muscle man,
Right?
defending the community. And it was like Judd Nelson, the bad guy in that one. It was someone from the Brat Pack,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
It's been a long time since I think I watched it one time and was like, I'll probably never revisit this movie again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's from the director of Short Circuit too, so you get what you get. But then, of course, that same year, 97 or whatever, we get Spawn.
Yes. Oh, I love Spawn so much.
Which, when that came out, like, I was a huge fan. I rewatched it recently, and I'm like, ooh, it did not age well.
There are movies that have aged worse.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I think it's more the CG cape didn't age well.
Yeah, the CGI doesn't hold up. Practical effects would be But yeah, that's the whole red background.
Yeah, but, I mean, I don't know about you. I watched the HBO animated series before, like the year or two before. And it was like, oh my god, I want to see this as a movie, and blah blah blah. Yeah. And then you start getting the hints like, oh yeah, it's going to be PG-13. Like,
what? Why?
Oh,
what?
I don't know about that.
And it was all right, but it wasn't,
I mean, Michael Jai White was amazing in it.
At that time, I think I watched it a couple times in the theater. I thought John Leguizamo as the clown.
Oh, he fucking killed it. So great. Especially being restrained by PG-13.
Yeah.
He makes that movie kind of feel dirtier than it even is.
I agree.
And so that's one of the things I got to give Spawn. You're saying it doesn't age well. That movie's a great one for, hey, it's a PG-13 movie about, a guy who's going to rescue his wife from the world, that feels grungier and dirtier and like more badass than it maybe actually is. But it's sort of one you could slide in with some of your, if you've got your kid has a friend who's got like a picky parent or something. It's like, oh no, we're watching Spawn.
It's PG-13. Don't worry about it.
It's okay.
Yeah. Guy's going to be torn apart with chains like it's Hellraiser or something. But yeah, don't worry about it. It'll be like an explosion of green.
It'll be all good.
Yeah.
Well, and of course, because unfortunately it was kind of a financial flop, they finally figured out we got to do an R-rated badass black superhero. So they did Blade the following year. Wesley Snipes.
Which was awesome. When that came out, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Because I didn't know anything about the comic before I went to the movie. Like, I knew zero about the comic and his character. And I walked in that movie, walked out, and was like, yeah, I'm watching that a few more times.
Yeah, I think all I really knew about Blade was he'd popped up on like a couple episodes of like Iron Man, the animated series. It was something like that, where he was like in for like one episode, and it's like, and I kill vampires, and he has a sword, and like I'm half vampire, and I'm like intrigued.
Well, and they had like that really techno dance soundtrack too, and you're like I am into this. This is
oh yeah, yes. It's vampire hunters, it's cyberpunk, it's
Yes, and Zach makes a good point. They are talking about making Spawn again.
They've been talking about that since the first one came out.
Pretty much, yeah. But they still have Jamie Foxx allegedly signed on to play him, and it's apparently going to be directed by Todd McFarlane instead of some guy that did visual effects for ILM, though you wouldn't know watching it.
Yeah, and they want to make it like hard R, is what they're saying, and
as it should be.
Spawn should be.
No, we'll see. Yeah. It's been that on again, off again for how many years now? It's kind of like New Mutants. Yeah, sure, we'll see.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so wait for that to come out.
I just want to see Michael Jai White come back and play it too.
Right? He could. Holy shit! He's only gotten bulkier.
Yeah, the guy's like what, 55 or something like that now, and he's even more massive than he was at like 25 when the movie came out.
You know who else could do it? Idris Elba.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Actually, Idris Elba should be the bad guy.
Oh, yes.
Martin Sheen. The guy Martin Sheen plays. I forget his name. It's something really bad, but
yeah, John Filane. Wait.
Yeah. No, it's Expendables too. But...
Oh, Steve. Then what came out?
Oh well. The year I graduated from high school was 1999, and one of my favorite black superheroes came out that year, Pootie Tang. Has anyone else here seen Pootie Tang? Everybody talks shit on Pootie Tang because they haven't seen it.
If you've seen it, it's fucking great.
I have not seen it. I know of it, and I won't talk bad about it, but I have not personally watched it.
Nicki Minaj stole her entire character from that movie. Wanda Sykes as what?
Biggie Shorty.
Biggie Shorty.
Yeah. Just look up Biggie Shorty online. You'll see Nicki Minaj come up half the time. But but Pootie Tang, it's about this guy again from the ghetto.
Mm-hmm.
He has this indiscernible language that basically only he can understand, and people that understand context.
Mm-hmm.
But he has this belt that his daddy gave him that helps him like protect everybody, and he has like superpowers or he doesn't really have superpowers. Just he's
quick and he's smooth and yeah.
And ladies love him.
Yeah.
And he's an international singing superstar.
Ladies want to be him. Guys want to do him. You know.
Yeah.
See if you want to give us a little taste of Pootie.
Senor Pity on the runny kind. What a time.
What a time.
Got to say Deneno. But anyway, I'd say check it out. It's available places.
Super fun. Fun.
Yeah, check it out. And don't look up the director. It's directed by Louis C.K.
Oh,
but he's
okay.
not in the movie. Chris Rock. I thought it was Chris Rock, the director, for the longest time because he plays like 4 roles in the movie.
Well, from what I understand, Chris Rock did basically a giant overhaul of the entire script, so it's essentially Chris Rock's movie.
Okay.
That's what I kept hearing. That's why it feels like a Chris Rock movie, because apparently he looked through it and was like, nah, this shit's not funny.
Well, and Robert Vaughn's the bad guy, so he's always,
right?
I mean, whether it's Undercover Brother or Basketball
The
or
Man.
whatever. Yeah. It's a good movie. Let's see, after that, I mean, technically Storm was a superhero leader in the X-Men, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
was.
At least in the first one, then she had kind of a smaller role each following. But she came roaring back with Catwoman in 2004.
Halle Berry.
Right. We'll just stop with that one. No, I don't know.
Hey, props to Halle Berry because she, if I remember right, she actually went and accepted her Razzie for that movie.
Oh yeah. She knows what movies she made.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Sharon Stone is the villain.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie.
Skin or whatever. I don't know.
I'm not actually mad at Halle Berry for those movies because it's not like she has any control over the direction, the editing, the storyline, anything like that.
I mean, after you see the Catwoman character in Batman Returns, and you're like, we're gonna put you want to do a Catwoman movie? Well, yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And
yeah, we're gonna get Halle Berry, who we didn't know. Like, I mean, wasn't she just coming off of like?
Yeah, she just won her Academy Award for Monsters Ball.
Monsters Ball.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, this is gonna be great. Wait, she's just a single lady who lives in an apartment, a palatial estate on top of a building, and sniffs tuna.
All right, well, then I gotta ask, what's your favorite Catwoman?
Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, Michelle.
Yeah, there's no argument.
Hands down, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Sorry, Julie Newmar and Anne Hathaway and Eartha Kitt and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, no, Michelle Pfeiffer, like she is Catwoman.
Yeah.
She's all about chaos and shinies.
All right. So Brad, you watched Hancock just 2 weeks ago, you were saying?
Yeah, I did watch Hancock just recently, yep.
I have to watch it again. Give us a rundown of it. Basically, Will Smith just like a superhero, and he just trying to live like an everyday life almost.
Yep, he's a superhero that's just kind of just living almost like a homeless guy, basically. Yeah, I mean, you come into this movie of he's already established of like who Hancock is. He's getting drunk, and when he shows up to save people and stuff, like he causes a bunch of destruction and everything else, and everybody starts to hate him. So he turns around and they force him to get a PR person to try to change his image.
Like Jason Bateman or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait. So it's like Hitch, but the boy version?
And Charlize Theron is his wife, is Jason Bateman's wife, and there's like this weird kind of, she looks at Hancock odd, like I know him, like they know each other kind of thing, and then it kind of turns into, after watching it and seeing the Last Guard recently with Charlize Theron, I'm like, it's that same story, because they're ancient superheroes. They've been around for a long time, and they lose their powers when they're closer to one another, and it's I get again. Yeah, it kind of fizzled a little bit. Like it started out really good, and then it just kind of like it lost its way.
Yeah, it's a Peter Berg movie.
Hey, don't make fun of Battleship. That's the greatest movie he's ever made.
I would never make fun of Mile 22. I don't even know why you would say such a thing.
We saw it in theater, so
yeah, we paid theater money for a couple Peter Berg movies. Oh my God, Aspen Extreme.
Oh,
wow.
So maybe you haven't seen Aspen Extreme, where Peter Berg, he didn't direct it, but he starred in it with Paul Gross, you might know from Due South and
Men with Brooms.
Yeah. It takes a turn at the end of the second act that it's like, I thought this was supposed to be like a ski bum comedy movie.
Sort of a ski bum romantic comedy. Two guys down on their luck go out to Aspen to teach skiing, and then it becomes drug dealers and heads in duffel bags.
yeah, it gets dark. But that has nothing to do with our panel right now.
No. But on Hancock, I was going to say, is The Boys what we all wanted Hancock to be?
Kinda,
when we saw the commercials and stuff?
I don't know. It was one of those, like, I wanted this cool superhero movie when it came out. And then when I saw it in the theater, I was like, it was okay. I mean, it was financially successful. It did a lot of money, but it just
and that's like the biggest power in a superhero movie.
And he had Will Smith, so I mean, right there at that time, it's instantly like, here's a suitcase full of money, and here's another one and another one.
Yeah, here's a dump truck full of cocaine. Have at it.
One of the few actors that can get away with choking a German Shepherd to death on screen.
So Nick Fury and the War Machine.
Yeah, Nick Fury with the MCU. He's the next one coming in the end of Iron Man. Good old Sam Jackson.
He's absolutely a superhero. He survived way too many things. I think his superpower is just not being able to be killed by superpowers. But still.
Is that the secret to his power?
I think so.
Now, before we keep going into the MCU, I got a little curveball to throw at you and see what you think, because my co-hosts always disagree with me on this fact. The Fast and the Furious franchise, I think, I mean, if you look at it and what they go through and everything else, they're basically superheroes.
Wait. Are you talking about the family who starts out as they have kind of a black market car thing behind a sandwich shop, and they're stealing DVDs and like Zune players, and then all of a sudden they're like throwing each other across freeways between cars? Or as we like to refer to it as jumping the Letty.
They're ramming cars against each other, playing chicken, and like
rock kicking nuclear missiles,
jumping from buildings to buildings through the air.
Oh,
well, Brad, I don't know if you know this. We started off the quarantine by living life a quarter April at a time. And so we went through all 10 of the movies. Yes, 10 Fast and Furious movies, including the Roger Corman 1954 one.
It is still about trying to get to Mexico in a fast car, so it's canon.
But I think it was the fourth one where we decided they become superheroes, because that's the one where in the finale when they're driving through the tunnels and shit.
Yes,
Dominic Toretto jumps from his car through the door of another car into another guy punching him out the car, and I was like, wait, did that just fucking happen?
They try and blur it a bit.
Yeah,
so
they
really
blurred it, but
figure out what's happening.
Well, I think that at that point, and then you had Fast 5 where it just went all out. Is when this series that was popular just skyrocketed into this like stratosphere of popularity. I'll admit, I'm a big fan of the series. It's ridiculous, but I love it.
Huge fans.
Hobbs and Shaw was our movie of the year last year.
Their love
there
cannot
really
be
wasn't
stopped.
any competition.
You tell me that's not a movie about two men flirting the whole time.
Then back to our Nick Fury. It is true. Nick Fury was white in the comics, and that was what was
in the 80s.
Yeah, and that was what was great about Samuel Jackson's casting in this, because live action Nick Fury. Before that, you got David Hasselhoff, and now you get Sam Jackson, who's just a BAMFer, and
he just owns the role.
He absolutely owns it.
Yeah.
Like you're like you don't mess with Nick Fury.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of controversial racial changes in characters, anybody watch that Fantastic Four movie from a couple years ago?
Was
where
that
Michael B. Jordan
is that
was the
Fanforstic?
Fanforstic, yeah.
Fanforstic. That's yeah.
We try to forget that movie.
Yeah. We will not speak its name. We talk more about the Roger Corman one than we talk about the new one.
The Roger Corman one, I think, is the best one.
It actually kind of is. I mean, obviously not with special effects.
Yeah, it was never finished. But
we actually got to direct Oli Sessoun, the director of that one. We also talked to Michael Bailey Smith, who played the Thing. Yeah, great guys. But yeah, having seen of course, bootleg version of it through the Comic-Cons, back when you could do the hand-to-hand exchanges. It's actually pretty good as as far as like actually having characters and developing them.
Yeah, you actually feel bad for characters. Characters actually like have some sort of emotions.
Yeah.
What?
I know.
I mean, you don't get a look at Jessica Alba, which
with her blue contacts that she had in.
Oh well. You can just see that CGI that stuff out now. But
I mean, if they can CGI out a mustache, they can fix eye colors.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, Jeff, we all agree that it's terrible. All right.
Yeah, Fanforstic, not canon. They couldn't even spell it right.
They all can't be Rise of the Silver Surfer.
If you want good superhero emotion, Jeff, you need to go watch Batman v Superman, the extended cut. Okay? That should get him going.
Release the butthole version.
Why'd you say that name?
That'll be my answer for everything from now on. I apologize.
So after Nick Fury, where did we go?
Human Torch, and then Luke Cage came out.
Yeah.
So I guess we had War Machine, and then
War Machine, where it was Terrence Howard and then Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
Whatever happened with Terrence Howard? I mean, was he just not into the comic book thing, or?
I think at the time it was more of a contractual dispute, so he didn't end up coming back, and then Don Cheadle took the role, and Terrence Howard went on to make what's the show he does on Fox, the Empire.
Empire.
That's
Empire.
It. Yeah, it's like no, Power's the one on Stars. That's definitely not the same thing.
Wait. Is it the real, or is it just four chicks arguing at a table, or is it
the Real Housewives of Empire? They'd probably get a lot more viewers if they could just called it that.
Right?
Yeah, but then Luke Cage came out in the Netflix series. Yes, thank you, Kevin. Corman version.
And then we're getting a lot of comments of he wanted more money.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, who doesn't?
He wants to Downey Jr. money.
He wants that RDJ money. Good luck, buddy.
Yeah. Like your War Machine, and you want to get paid like Iron Man? Sorry.
I don't know. How many Ally McBeal episodes were you in? No?
Yeah. How many times did you play Sherlock Holmes? Okay, why hasn't that been a thing? Sherlock Holmes, but it's like in the ghetto. It's kind of going,
right? Let's blaxploitation up a Sherlock Holmes. Let's do it.
Let's do it, guys.
I'm in.
Wait, is that basically what Shaft is?
Well, he's not the world's greatest detective, though.
Shaftlock Holmes. Right. Pen pending. No one's going to
smell a comic book coming.
Well, and then, of course, Black Panther came out to 2018. We had the privilege of watching it opening night, Thursday, the night before, or whatever, in Oakland
On his birthday.
on my birthday. No, that was Avengers.
Oh, that was Avengers.
But
I
like
apologize.
2 months before that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was that's like a watershed movie.
Oh yeah. The people on the left to us when we were in the theater had their dog. The people on the right had their barbecue. The dog was in my lap the whole time trying to get to the barbecue. It was such a movie in Oakland.
It's fantastic. And just watching the whole movie, it has royalty, African royalty. It's all about family and protecting your community, but doing also what's good for the world. And I mean,
so you said that like it's a family movie. I think that's why like Black Panther sort of hits a lot more people than some of the other Marvel movies. Some of them get so big and abstract. It's it's like, this is DC, but it's like in Superman. Like he's mad when one person dies, but then he goes and kills like 10,000 people, and it was 10,000 people doesn't mean as much. But this is basically just a family drama.
Yeah,
and
it's true.
And I think it just sort of like, it hits people a lot more because, this is something like as abstract as it is or whatever. It could happen to you. You could have a cousin who got, ousted from the family.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, Killmonger, he had a legitimate point.
He wasn't wrong.
It's true. Like he was that. I don't want to say it's the first villain, but seeing Black Panther as that villain, that I was like, you know what? I'm a little bit on board with him. Like
he's a bit of an anti-hero himself.
Yeah.
I was right there with him up until there's like one very specific point in the movie where he's just like, yeah, fuck him, I do what I want, kind of thing. Then and that's when he like kind of turned on me. He's like,
that's where he's evil.
Oh, okay, there it is. Thanks for making that obvious, Marvel.
But you're still like sort of rooting for him. Like you want him to figure out a treaty between them.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the end, you're just hoping that I want him to just be a good person and go with.
They can figure this out, right?
Yeah,
Black Panther can reach him.
They can be friends, can't they?
And then, basically after that, he went from being your local neighborhood Black Panther to worldwide superhero. And now they're talking about doing the sequel with Letitia Wright or whatever.
So from what I understand, I did not read the comics, but from what I understand in the comics, the sister takes over. So this is a really beautiful time for them to do that. And then we're going to have a strong Black female superhero in, a major established franchise.
Yeah.
Which will be, I think, it's sad how it got there. I mean, Chadwick Boseman, he was amazing. And what he did while being sick was
phenomenal.
Beyond words. Like the type of person that he was.
He's left a beautiful legacy.
Oh yeah, in just a short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the Five Bloods, the Spike Lee movie on Netflix?
I have not watched it yet. My co-hosts watched it and they loved it.
Yeah, I watched it a couple of weeks ago, and it's pretty good. Delroy Lindo should win an Academy Award, hands down.
If we ever have those again.
Yeah, where he's like, who's he going up against? I don't know, Doolittle? Yeah.
Robert Downey again.
Oh no. He making a nomination.
No, it's going to be Sonic the Hedgehog.
James Marsden? Is Cyclops going to get his Academy Award?
Cyclops is finally going to get his Academy Award.
Yes.
No, you know what? If anybody in that movie, it's going to be Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
He fucking destroyed that whole movie, like in the best way.
Yeah.
It's so good to see Jim Carrey as Jim Carrey.
So the future of Black comic superhero movies.
Yeah.
They keep talking about doing a Blade reboot with Mahershala Ali.
I know that's supposedly in the cards. I mean, they announced it, but it doesn't mean they can't, cancel it. But
yeah. I mean, all right. Is there any like dream projects any y'all want to see? I mean,
Blade with him. Yes, I am fully on board for that.
Yeah.
I am excited to see Shuri take over as Black Panther. To have a Black female superhero would be awesome.
So good.
Yeah, I want to see Todd McFarlane's Spawn, even though Todd McFarlane has done things in the past, and some have been really good.
He's optimistic.
You know who? Okay, this is going to sound really dumb because I just thought of it. I am really
I'm gonna start your podcast up on the screen too.
Oh yeah. Oh, actually, we're on ageofradio.org now / everything I learned from movies. Sorry, that changed like 2 weeks ago.
It like just
Well,
changed.
darn it. Well, here we'll go like this.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just look us up.
Search for that.
We're on all the podcatchers though. So just put in everything I learned from movies. Follow us, like us. We're in the middle of October, so October for Killer Bear movies.
Guys, Killer Bear movies are great. It's like underwater monster movies. Like, you know exactly what's going to happen, and it's good every time.
Those may be coming in December. And then November we have our Patreon. So our lovely patrons are now picking movies for us in November. So
jump on, join the Patreon so you can pick something.
Yeah, we have an eclectic mix coming up. I'll just put it that way.
Interesting.
We also have some great interviews lined up. I almost don't want to say
because it'll jinx it.
It'll jinx it.
Don't want to jinx it.
Whatever, but check out all of our past episodes. We've done 30 something interviews now, all kinds of directors, stunt people, martial artists, actors, voiceover people, voice actors, like
Nicolas Cage's brother.
Yeah, Chris Coppola, Nicolas Cage's brother, Johnny Martin, who's directed Nicolas Cage. We may have someone also close to Nicolas Cage coming up.
We're coming for Nicolas Cage. That's
we're circling him.
Since Jean-Claude has made himself completely inaccessible.
Yeah. By the way, Jiu-Jitsu, November 20th. Guys, it's a movie coming out.
It's true. I just watched the trailer for it, and Nick Cage, man, you got to see it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's like Highlander, and it's like
between getting the trailer for that and Fat Man with Mel Gibson playing Santa Claus.
Yeah, I heard I hadn't seen the trailer. But...
Oh my gosh, it was like the perfect week for just bad movies.
Oh yeah. So one of the stars in Jiu-Jitsu, Alain Moussi, you may not have heard of him. Great guy. We got to interview him. He's also the star of the Kickboxer reboots, which are for super, super low budget, like direct to streaming. Really good. Yeah, he's great. He does all his own stunts in that. He got punched by Mike Tyson in like 3 or 4.
Oh, they've only done the 2.
Oh, the second one. Yeah.
Yeah, Kickboxer Vengeance from Retaliation.
Yeah, apparently Mike Tyson does not have half speed.
Yeah.
It's all or nothing for Mike Tyson.
Yeah, check out those Kickboxer movies because from the second one's from the same director. I think he produced the first one, somebody else directed. But yeah, Jiu-Jitsu's from those same people. Yeah, plus you throw in Tony Jaa.
Tony Jaa. Yeah, it's going to be great, and it's like the all the guys involved with it. We're so excited about it, especially because like their thing is like real action, real hits, all of that. So like it feels good, you know. It feels like an action movie, not like.
Wait, did I go the right way? Plus, they're going up against a Predator Ninja.
Yeah, it's a Highlander Predator Ninja, Steve. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to get the quickening.
Yeah. November 20th. You know where we'll be.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see it. Now back to your. Did we? Are there any other superheroes that you can see them making possibly at some point, or?
I have theory. I'm pretty sure Idris Elba is going to come back for the Hobbs and Shaw franchise because a trio is just more fun than a duo.
I mean, he was full on just a super villain in that. I mean, he was half robot, half.
And he's Black fucking Superman.
Yeah,
come on. Yeah,
exactly.
Oh yeah. We, like I said, we did the whole month. We watched all the Fast and Furious in a row. We've got theories. I am pretty sure Twinkie from Tokyo Drift is Idris Elba's son. And so, because there's a scene in Tokyo Drift where Twinkie is on the mountain, like live streaming from his flip phone, because it's Japan. They're better than us. And he goes, "Yo, Uncle Deck, check this out." Now, we stopped and we rewound that like 7 times to make sure we heard what we heard. So who would be his Uncle Deck?
Deck and Shaw.
Since they were such good buddies before? Who else
Timelines kind of match up, I think.
Yeah.
And it's the movie that was made that later they're like, okay, how can we fit this in to the franchise? Oh, wait, this takes place after these.
Tokyo Drift was the first one with writer Chris Morgan, who's now leading the whole thing. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and if Deckard was in charge of Twinkie, that would be a reason why he would be in Tokyo too, to make sure Twinkie's still in his private school and everything's paid for in that.
There you go. How did this turn into
Makes sense.
serious channel again?
Because Black fucking Superman is going to join.
Yeah. We went back to the black superheroes of any of the characters you could see them making later on, and
I can't
maybe not.
We're left. There's just not that many. Well, at least I'm not gonna lie. I haven't really followed comics in the last 20 years or so, besides the movies and stuff. So it's like, is Black Adam black? No, he's gonna be played by The Rock. Okay. Yeah, I don't know who else there is.
How about you? Do you have any ideas for?
I don't. I mean, I grew up collecting comics in the 90s, and I was a big fan of the Image comics at that time, where it kind of had diverse groups, and I would love to see some of those come into, movie form, which I don't think they ever will. Like, I want to see like a Cyber Force or a Youngblood or like, Wildcats and stuff like that, to get like a mixed group, almost how Avengers, but different.
Oh, Cyborg. I mean, he could get a movie, but I don't know anything about the character.
Fuck it up.
Yeah.
The whole thing,
Well,
he's like a
They're
teenage
DC.
kid who like gets in a car accident and his dad turns him into a cyborg.
The Snyder Cut's going to save everything, and then Zack Snyder's going to be back at the DCU making movies.
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally waiting for James Gunn to save DC with the Suicide Squad reboot or whatever they're calling it, or are they calling it exactly the same thing they did 5 years earlier? I don't know. It's gonna be great though.
Sometimes
it's a reboot sequel, because it has some of the same characters from the first one, and then kind of a retooling of it.
That's what we can call it. Yeah.
A requel.
Right?
Yes, Kevin. Yes.
No.
You can trust him. He hasn't made a good movie since Watchmen.
Watchmen's a pretty great movie.
But then again, that's coming from people who have approved of Nicolas Cage's last 10 years of career.
Yeah, because he puts out quality work. Maybe Grand Isle is questionable, but Primal is 10 for 10.
I haven't watched that yet.
It's the best Nick Cage movie on a boat with a big cat.
How many of them are there?
Probably more than
thing
you'd be
is, this is the
surprised.
best one.
Oh, and Color Out of Space. Color Out of Space.
Yeah.
Color Out of Space is one of my favorite movies this year.
Oh yeah. That movie.
My co-host and I disagree about that, but I love that movie so much.
Is your co-host not a fan of Lovecraft?
I mean, I've never read Lovecraft, and it was one of those that I just
other Lovecraft movies.
Oh yeah, after I saw that, I went and watched almost anything I could get my hands on.
So you've seen Flowers in the Attic now.
I have not.
That's the real name of the movie. Problematic.
That movie, yeah. Mm-hmm.
What happens in Flowers in the Attic, babe?
Mom and dad lose their house and bring their 4 children with them to go live with grandma and grandpa, who the children have never met. The grandparents severely disapprove. So there's 2 younger twins, a boy and a girl, and then there's like an oldest boy and like a middle girl. They all live up in the attic, and the girls have to sleep in the girl beds and the boys have to sleep in the boy beds. No ifs, ands, or buts. Very strict rule in this household. Turns out because mom and dad are actually niece and uncle. And the grandparents didn't want the kids around because, obviously incest spawn. All the kids start screwing each other, and then the grandparents starve them to death. The end.
Well,
or you could watch Reanimator, which is also H.P. Lovecraft. It's basically Frankenstein.
I mean, Reanimator is a great movie.
Oh,
amazing. You can go watch From Beyond. I watched that last year, and I love that movie.
We watched that last week, actually, for like the first time. That shit was cool.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, I think it's streaming on Prime, so or Shudder, one of the two. I don't know. We have both now, so.
All right. Before we wrap up, we're going to head into some trivia soon. To let us know where we can find everything I learned from movies.
We're on all your major podcatchers. We're also at ageofradio.org/everything I learned from movies. That's our new homepage. But yeah, you'll find us on the Podbean.
Google it. You can find us.
Are you on social media at all?
I am. You can find me just about anywhere at Untidy Venus. It's a goddess who's bad at housekeeping. I sell watercolors and prints, things like that Steve makes, things I make. I've got stickers. We've got enamel pins. We got the Black Superheroes up for sale. Yes, from our Vampire Month.
Oh, nice.
All of our favorite vampires.
All these and more.
Yeah, I got movie monsters who love kittens, all kinds of fun stuff.
We have fashionable paracord bracelets.
Oh, Steve's got a bracelet. Yeah, we make fun stuff and we pimp
Very nice.
Come check it out. UntidyVenus.etsy.com.
Yeah. Untidy Venus. All right. Yes. Well, thank you guys for coming on and hanging out with me. Since everybody left early, you hung out and then we got to talk some superhero movies. It was fun.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Do you need to stay on? And we don't want you to have to be here all alone by yourself.
Well, I have Jeff is coming on to do some trivia. So
we should go. We don't want to be here with Jeff.
Yeah, I don't want to win in front of everybody.
you can hang out and you can watch along or whatever. I'm gonna bring here we go. We got, but be careful. We got Jeff.
Oh, hey Jeff.
Well, you thought you didn't want to hang out with me, guys.
Hasn't checked us out yet. No.
Jeff and Ryan.
Hi guys.
You're gonna do some trivia.
All right.
If you guys want to hang out, you can, or we will say bye.
Oh yes.
Right.
Yes, but I'm gonna grab some water because I've been talking for an hour.
There you go.
All right. Well, hello everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Brian, you there?
I'm here.
All right. Brian challenged us to challenge him.
Okay.
He said he will know his G.I. Joe trivia.
Oh, okay.
And
that sounds like a big challenge.
It is. I mean, I suppose this came about when we were doing our poll for the greatest toys. I suppose it was the 80s toys or just toys, which was still a unfair election, and I think mine should have won. Hey, you finished in second, and Brian was up there with you fighting for Mask.
I'm actually surprised Mask made it as far as it did.
But even Brian
of G.I. Joe. Matt Tracker became a Joe. He has an action figure.
So you can claim part victory by claiming Matt Tracker's G.I. Joe heritage. Is that right?
Yeah.
There you go.
When they brought the Joes back out during about the first movie run in the 30th anniversary version, they actually had an Agent Tracker, which was Matt in his the Thunderbird or Camaro outfit.
So even though G.I. Joe won, Mask still won as well.
If that's how you want to look at it, I will not take that away from you.
If they had just made the figures bigger, they would have been great. But
but then they would have had to make the vehicles bigger.
So, I could pan over. I have the hover tank from Robotech Season 2, which fits a figure in it and transforms.
So I have seen these G.I. Joe questions, and I will tell you, I probably would have only got like a couple right.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not. Jason was the one behind getting these questions together.
Well, he offered G.I. Joe or Star Wars. I tried to do the more challenging of the two.
All right. So he put these together. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here to quiz you himself, but
yeah, because according to him, he has to go coach a game.
Yeah. He's hiding in a bunker.
Children.
Yeah.
See, I just send mine off to work.
That's what they're good for.
That's where he's at right now. He's working.
But I will say, if anybody watching out there on Facebook or Twitter, we've got some beautiful prizes, which are, of course, over at Jason's bunker. So I can't show you what they are right now, but we've got a Source Point prize package from the generous...
like a 10-pound pack of comics is what Jason said.
And we've got Funko Pops.
Yes.
And we're going to offer a Funko Pop if anybody in the open for anybody in the chats. All I want you to do is say what your favorite G.I. Joe that is not Snake Eyes, but your favorite member of G.I. Joe who is not Snake Eyes.
What? Shipwreck.
Go write that in the chat, and you'll be eligible. So we'll pick a winner from all the people that will let us know who their favorite non-Snake Eye G.I. Joe character is, and they'll be up for a Funko Pop award. We'll get a hold of you through your Facebook to let you know that you'd won and get a Funko Pop sent out to you. But in the meantime, we've got questions that we're challenging Brian with.
Sure. I'm just looking around because I was like, I know I have a few around here. I mean, there's my Ajax. I know I have the entire October Guard because not only do I have the U.S. G.I. Joes, I have the Russian versions as well.
All right. So whenever Brian is ready, we will start with some questions.
I am ready.
Question number 1. Who was the first woman released as a G.I. Joe figure?
G.I. Jane.
Uh-oh. We're going with the small.
Going with
figures.
the 80s? Then you're going with
the 80s. Yes.
Then you're going to go with Shauna O'Hara, otherwise known as Scarlet.
That was what we're looking for. Yes. But you jumped back too far.
I just posted that as my favorite. I forgot about her.
No, she's everybody's favorite. She was.
Yeah. She's basically the Smurfette of G.I. Joe. Yeah.
Well, at the beginning.
No. Joe was pretty good. They went like 7 years with at least one female every year. Directly. So, I mean, they at least kept a new female, not just Leia.
That's true. I mean, if we were asking these Star Wars questions, I think we'd already covered all the women in Star Wars before.
The original run, you had 100 figures. You had 99 men and droids and one woman.
All right. We're moving on to question 2. Still staying a little easy. I knew the answer to this one. I'll just say it that way. Who leads the Crimson Guard?
That would be the Crimson Twins, Tomax and Zaymot.
Correctamundo. 2 for 2. Uh-oh. Maybe we didn't get tough enough here. I think, now I can't remember. We were doing a bit in our History of Bad Ideas podcast where we were drafting or a movie. Now I can't remember who we were drafting, but I put Tomax and Zaymot in my movie, along with some Muppets.
Some Muppets.
Yeah, no. Matter of fact, it was not G.I. Joe. We were doing James Bond. And I picked Tomax and Zaymot to be my M and Q in my James Bond universe. So shout out to those two. Then question 3. In the comic book, who killed Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes' master?
That would have been Zartan at the request of Firefly.
Well, that's even more information than I had. I just had Zartan.
Yeah. Yeah, Firefly was originally tasked to kill him, but could not killing him. So he went back to Cobra Commander to have then who drafted Zartan to kill him, which the whole reason was for Snake Eyes' family was killed because Cobra Commander's brother was a drunk driver, and they collided on the day that Snake Eyes was coming home from Nam.
Oh,
Damn.
Wow. That's all I can say.
and they've got all this deep history, yet they made that movie when they first did a G.I. Joe movie.
Larry Hama, yeah, people know him from Wolverine Origins and some of the Weapon X stuff, but he wrote 95% of the original run of G.I. Joe. He wrote most of the file cards. If there was a character that he wrote a file card on or did not write the file card on and did not like, they became killed off real quickly. Case in point, there is one G.I. Joe that was created on the request of Stephen King.
And who is that?
Crystal Ball. Designed by Stephen King and his son. Appeared in one comic book.
And they killed him off, huh?
His name is Rick Flag.
They only made 7 dolls out of him.
Yeah.
Well, no, and you could tell because he nowadays you never see what we call back then peg warmers, where you would go back into Toys R Us or Target 2 years later and you would still find crystal balls still on the shelf forever and a day.
Hello, eBay.
Just want to see what crystal balls looks
Probably
like.
could still get it for about $2.99, I bet.
That might be too much. But moving on to question 4. What year did the 3 3/4 inch action figure
82
release? God, thank you. I stumbled over that, but yes, you knew what I was saying.
82 got you
1986.
82 got you the straight arm action figures, and then they were redesigned for the swivel arm battle grip in 83.
And they became much better with the battle.
Much better with swivel arm. They could actually hold the rifles instead of just going up one way. And then in 85, we got the beginning of the swivel heads, where it was not just left, right. They could go up and down some.
All right. Moving on to question 5. What is the name of Cobra's Polar Assault Team?
Cobra Kai.
Okay. Cobra's Polar Assault Team.
Ice serpents.
Well, no, they had an ice serpent. That was a vehicle.
Damn it, that's where I know it from.
Let's see. I don't remember an actual Arctic team. There's the Snow Serpent, which was their primary Arctic soldier, but I don't remember an Arctic team.
I think I know this one. Is it Winter Assault Protocol? The WAP?
No. There is no WAPs anywhere on this list.
Damn it.
Aww.
What kind of list is this?
It's a shame.
This is a non-WAP list.
This is the driest list I've ever heard.
But Brian, what Jason has down here as his answer is the Snow Serpents.
Damn.
So I am going to acquiesce to your, because you gave me Snow Serpent.
Yeah, that was their primary. The Snow Serpents were the Cobra Eels trained for Arctic, was the original run. Then they also had some Ice Vipers, who were some of their vehicle pilots when they brought out the Cobra Wolf, which was their companion to the Snowcat back in the day. But there was never really like a dedicated like sub team where they had like Tiger Force and Slaughter's Marauders and such as that.
Well, if you know that much, I think this next question is going to be incredibly easy for you. Because he wants to know, what is the name of Sergeant Slaughter's personal troops?
You had
Fan.
the big ones, the ones that most people remember are Slaughter's Marauders, which was the first of 2 different teams he had. They had those that included 3 people who were too rough and tough, including an ex-Cobra Viper, to be the original GI or to join the Joes. They were the Black Ops for the Black Ops teams. That they were like the A team for the GI Joe team. They didn't notice. They existed.
They were disavowed.
Oh, they were never even avowed.
But
And then there was Slaughter Seals.
But Slav's Marauders is what we have as the answer here.
Yeah.
So since you threw that answer before I even gave the question, I had a feeling you would know what we're talking about.
They appeared they were in the G.I. Joe movie, actually. So they did appear.
Damn.
Unfortunately, Slaughter did too. Oh, no.
Yeah, he did. But hey, we got rid of Serpentor, though Cobra Commander became a snake till Duke took over the cartoon about 2 years later.
Moving on. In-depth question here. Why does Snake Eyes wear a mask?
He was horribly disfigured in a helicopter crash pre-launch of issue 1 of G.I. Joe, Saving Scarlet.
Yep. Have nothing else to add to that.
Because he doesn't want that Rona.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's why Cobra troops are the best troops. They already were wearing masks the entire time.
Turns out they were the good guys the whole time.
Like Skeletor in the He-Man universe.
Right? It's his
He just
castle.
wants his castle back.
His people were wiped out.
But his lair was much cooler than the castle.
What, Snake Mountain?
Yes. Take that over Castle Grayskull. Come on.
You got to remember, Masters of the Universe is just around because Conan was rated R.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the first one was.
Well, and that's what happened. I mean, think of it. Battle Cat was a big gym toy that then said, "Oh, they need a ride." Boom. It's off scale, but they'll work. I mean, going to GI or Star Wars, the Creature Cantina. Remember the Creature Cantina from like 78, early 79?
Is that the blue elephant? Hello?
Rhoda, is that you?
Hello, Cantina, is that you?
It was originally a Wild West bar in the original before they reused the mold. So I love watching the history of toys where they reuse molds and refine things. I mean,
we gotta make it a different color. Nobody will notice. Yeah.
Well, heck, Prince of Thieves toys. They were all the entire Superpowers line, with the exception of Friar Tuck, who was the Gormalian Guard, and Sherwood Forest was the Ewok Village.
So I should have went and bought all the Robin Hood toys, and I could have had better.
I'm sure there's
you could have had Batman unmasked as a zine.
Let's see.
It's a good thing My Little Pony never reused their molds.
Yeah.
Isn't every pony the same mold?
Only in the first set. Then they got like 6 others.
All right.
Kids were catching on.
Question 8, a question that I think Brian might have troubles figuring this one out. What is the Russian faction that was neither affiliated with Joe's or Cobra?
October Guard.
Did you want to pull them out again?
I'm trying to think of where I had them. I literally have them around here somewhere. I don't think I put them up in the back closet, but I don't. Oh, nope, there they are.
Here we go.
So it's not Hydra.
Hydra.
Now they came out with a couple in the original run, but in about 2005 they actually came out with the October Guard.
Nice.
So you have Strange, you have Stormovic. So you got a whole nother nice. I keep the October Guard separate. They were always sort of. I liked it because they were. The problem I had with G.I. Joe after a while is it got too big. It's supposed to be your elite team, a special team, or your elite special team. But hey, we got about 300 players.
Well, so what you're saying is the military got too big and was too much of a financial drain for you.
So,
they got too big because they had specialties. Every time a specialty, you couldn't use the same guy to be, your fire specialist as your ice specialist. Come on.
Well, it's sort of like, over the course of the run, you had 12 original Joes. Yeah. All right. That were the original 12 card back and or vehicle drivers. And at my last count, from the original run only, they had reissued, I want to say either 8 or 9 of those as they had brought out new molds. I mean, you were down to like Short Fuse, Breaker, Steeler were I think the only 3 that did not get another mold. They reissued Zap. They made another Zap. Who cared about Zap?
Somebody did.
No.
Mrs. Zap?
The little Zablets he has at home.
They're called Zips, Steve.
My bad.
Zaps, good old Zips.
Moving on. Question 9. According to the G.I. Joe dossier file, what is Hawk's real name?
Clayton Abernathy.
Now, I've got a middle initial here. Can you come up with that? You've been doing so well.
I want to say M, but I don't think that's right.
I've got M according to my answer. Clayton M. Abernathy. We can't even get a middle initial past this guy.
And they call him Hawk because he can fly.
Yes, exactly. Question number 10. We want to know the code name for the seldom used operator of the HAL, or Heavy Artillery Unit. For
Grand
G.I. Joe.
Slam.
Grand Slam. We didn't even have to think about it. Boom. Seldom used. Boom. Grand Slam. Right there.
Otherwise known as, especially if you ever really looked at the original ones, it was Flash with Grunt's head.
That's why they seldom used him. He was made up of other people.
And
Jacob, disassemble, reassemble.
Technically, he was the first reissue because they reissued him in the second year with the jump jetpack with a silver instead of red deco on his fire retardant chest piece suit.
Well, so he actually was the first reissue, so he's a very important character, not seldom used.
Seldom used.
So, Jeff, real quick question. When did the tough questions come up?
That was the tough question because there's one question left, and this one is an easy one that I knew the answer to. So one question left. This is it, Brian, for all the marbles. All or nothing. Your prize pack is teetering on the edge.
Oh.
Question number 11. What is Spirit's eagle called?
Freedom.
So, yeah, we couldn't stump Brian.
No, you couldn't.
And see, I was planning on driving up to the Cincinnati Comic Expo just for this. This was actually planned before they canceled it for them.
Yes, unfortunately, yeah.
Because so now we're going to go to the other podcast that's up there next week.
What?
And that's how this whole thing came about. Was Expo canceled, and we're like, we still want to get together and do what we were going to do.
We want to talk about the shit we were going to talk about.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's what
that's Cincinnati Expo is definitely the worst thing to ever happen on that date.
Yep.
Okay, it was announced. It was supposed to have been on the September 11th. Was when the expo was supposed to be held.
But instead it's today and tomorrow.
They jinxed themselves. That's what they did. They caused all of this.
They caused the Rona.
No, they didn't. We love the Comic Expo.
We do.
We love everybody there.
And the Comic Expo will be back on force next year.
Yes.
Woo!
As soon as everyone figures out what's going on in the world. But there's plenty of time. So the Comic Expo will be back next September.
Yeah,
and I will try to be there.
19th, I believe, 2021.
I think your answer is correct there.
Hey.
Everybody's Bane cosplay will be on point.
Oh yeah.
There will be so many Mortal Kombat characters there.
Oh,
It's gonna be
yeah.
great.
Excuse
Oh
me.
yeah.
I plan to be going as Billy the Kid.
Yeah.
Every one of those bank robber guys we wanted to dress up with, we can actually dress up with now and be in style.
I'm sorry. For some reason, I was thinking of Billy Gunn of the Smoking Guns. That's what you're
Oh yeah, because I was going to be his partner in the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah, see? Yeah,
the Road Dog.
So you were unable. Well, should we say Jason was unable to stomp?
Blame it on Jason.
Oh yeah, it's always if he didn't want to be blamed, he would have been here.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Is he still coaching a game?
Coaching.
I think he's coaching.
Yeah,
with his kids. So what did he win for? I know you don't have the prizes.
I don't have the prize. We'll make Jason show when he gets back. But it is a prize package from the great folks at Source Point Press, and at least one, maybe two Funko Pops.
They're just taking up space somewhere.
Yeah. They're the Funko Pops that Jason's wife wants him to get rid of, but
he also won a Beanie Baby.
Ooh.
That is not guaranteed. I know nothing about Beanie Babies.
Okay, I don't know if I have room in this room. Might be time to expand.
Yeah,
just go to another room.
Well, this is just the computer room / Star Wars exhibit. The G.I. Joe stuff's out in the garage.
Except for the October Guard.
Well, no, they're too valuable. Okay, so if you remember the cartoon, some of them actually appeared in cartoons because they actually had the October Guard appeared in 2 or 3 episodes of the cartoon plus 1 episode of the Arise Serpentor Arise miniseries. And so the only one out of the original October Guard that really showed up, though, a couple of them showed up a little bit, was Horror Show.
Oh.
And he was tasked. He was always teamed up with Gung Ho because it was the dumb Russian bear and from Gung Ho. So you gotta have Horror Show.
Gung Ho and Horror Show coming to Shudder next fall.
Well, now I just want to see a movie of those two guys as the figures, like a stop action movie of those two guys.
Yes. What else are we doing during quarantine?
That's right. That's how videos are people playing with their dolls and acting out movies.
Look who decided to come back from coaching right before the next panel. We're getting ready to bring on Jay and Dylan from Mess Comics here in a few minutes. So anyone watching, you'll want to stick around for that because it should be a fun talk with those guys. Those guys are always awesome.
Brian, how did you do?
I'll let Jeff say. I mean, I'm waiting for the hard questions here.
You the comics.
There were at least 2 answers Brian discussed before the question was ever asked.
Yeah, I don't think anything even made him pause. It was like immediate answer.
Okay, Brian, I got one for you.
The hardest thing he had to answer was he was not 100% sure about Clayton Abernathy's middle initial.
Did you get it? Did you get it?
He did.
Oh, damn it. Okay. For a snake oil koozie. Brian, here's a question. What PSA did Barbecue have for G.I. Joe's cartoon? You know how they always say the more you know.
We're learning. Actually, they said knowing is half the battle.
Knowing is half the battle. Sorry.
The more you know is NBC.
NBC, yeah. Knowing's half the battle. I want to say he actually had 2 because I know he had one with fires and trying to get out and not touching the hot door. And then I vaguely remember one dealing with a down electrical line.
Didn't he have one about pork chop sandwiches?
No.
Oh,
this guy's good.
I'll be honest. I did not expect that from you. I did actually, but I was hoping that I could get you on one. That's my favorite PSA. Hey, let's jump those electrical wires. Now, kids, you don't want to do that.
Well, I want to thank you, Brian, for coming on and crushing Jason's so-called questions for you.
Like I say, next year I'm driving. Like I said, I'm driving up to Michigan for the Pucktoberfest next week. I'd be happy to come up to Cincinnati Comic Expo.
We would love to have you. Love to have you.
He'll try harder next time and get some tougher questions for you.
Yeah.
Now we know the level of questions we need. I think we'll find at least one stumper out there.
I apologize. So, Ryan, did you win the bag of Source Point Press gift bags here?
He did. All
If
10
11
pounds
out of 11 is enough to win it, then yes.
It's going to be $25 to ship it.
Don't forget, you have to put that Funko in there too.
I am in Indianapolis the entire week after next. I mean,
that's a shorter ship.
Are you a Game of Thrones fan?
Yeah, I watched the entire series.
Okay, then you get this Funko. It's a Zor.
Do you want to show it in the picture? Maybe.
Yeah.
I see a forehead.
Hey.
Knock it off, Steve. Okay, I got you down for that.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up and we'll get ready to bring Jay from Mest Comics in here. And Steve and Izzy, thank you for hanging out with us.
Hey, thanks for having
letting
us.
us crash your panel.
Yeah,
Oh, no problem.
Thank you. And we will talk with you later.
Yeah, bye guys.
Bye, guys. Bye, bye.
Bye.
And Brian, thanks for crushing that.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, next time we'll try to find some tough questions.
They'll make it hard next time.
Well, you got to get to some of the later stuff, like which was the one G.I. Joe who lived in an orphanage most of his life.
I have a feeling you know the answer to that.
Yeah, I was going to say you probably know that.
Hit and Run.
Oh God. Oh.
But, okay. Thank you, Brian, for coming on.
Yeah, you got to get up to like Ice Cream Soldier before you start stumping me on stuff with G.I. Joe.
I'm on it for next year.
Next year it'll be the 5 most impossible questions Jason can find.
Yeah,
none.
All right.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
All right, so we are going to bring Jay and Dylan from Mest Comics in. There's Jay. Hi, Jay.
Hello.
And here's Dylan.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
How are things at Mest Comics going for you guys?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. We've been spending COVID creating.
Yeah, and
what better way to get you to create than I have to stay inside?
Yeah, it's amazing what I can do if I'm not allowed to do anything else. So that's been great. Like what used to take us almost a year to do, I think I probably did it in about 3.5 weeks.
Yeah, really quick. We finished season 3. We're in final edits. So we're awesome. Yeah, we have an entire new season, and we spent a lot of time. We miss our Comic-Cons, especially our Expo, our Cincinnati Comic Book Expo. But we spent a lot of time just reaching out to like Instagrammers, bloggers, podcasters like yourselves, and just, building some relationships, getting some interviews, getting some reviews. So it's been a nice opportunity to just kind of reach out virtually and connect.
So what you're trying to say is that your season 3 will be out before the next Game of Thrones book.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to predict season 5 will be out before the next.
I know.
Now, is he okay? I hope he is safe so he can finish the book.
I like to imagine that him and Alan Moore are in like a hobbit hole somewhere, just talking away.
But Alan Moore just resurfaced this past week. I think it was just that, like, hey guys, I'm still alive and I still hate things.
He is
I
a
would say
wizard.
maybe Warren Ellis is vacationing there for a little bit, maybe just a little bit.
So season 3, when can we possibly start seeing it out?
Right after Thanksgiving is what we're aiming for.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, it'll be a digital format, because we're not going to print yet because there's no Comic-Cons to sell it at, and then we'll look at 2021 to go to print with season 3.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting. That was a lot of different stuff to work on, and I had never worked, virtually. So a lot of times I use like models and stuff. So I got like little action figures. Then I would just take photos and I'd say, have your boyfriend or somebody take a picture, and then I had to draw from that. But it actually turned out really cool. So I was able to get people from like Thailand and California and stuff like that to model. And so I do storyboards, as my like kind of day job. So I was able to kind of storyboard out the whole thing, and I'd say, okay, this is the poses that I need. And it's just a lot faster of a way to work and get stuff done. When we started the comic book, I knew that for us to do it at the, within the budget that we had to get a good look, that I was like, well, we'll just get a model or somebody and just kind of like crank them out. And I made sure that I looked up, and that's how DC and Marvel does it. So I was like, all right, well then, I'm not better than them. So that's how we did it.
And so for our main character, Lilliput, who's kind of our tour guide to the sewers, that was a model that you knew from the bar. You met her through the bar.
She used to work at the like Stop and Go up at by my house, and I was like, and somebody was like, who'd be perfect? That girl used to work at the Stop and Go. I was like, she would be perfect. She looks just like the sketch that Jay gave me, but she was working down at Findlay Market at the olive oil stand, and I had to be like, hey, you don't really know me, but would you like to come to my house and dress up and fight underground worms? Like, it was crazy.
And how did that conversation go? Did she just look at you weird? I'm like,
no, I didn't have this beard. I knew how to. I had to soften my look a little bit for my approach.
I'll be honest, it's probably not the weirdest conversation she's had at Findlay Market.
It can't be.
No.
I mean, because at least that was real. I mean, it was a real thing that I was trying to accomplish.
Has anyone ever said no to you about modeling to be in a comic book? Like, have they thought like this is the worst pickup line ever?
No, but I do have a friend who, if we're hanging out and he sees a kind of good looking girl, he'll approach her and be like, "Hey, my friend over here is a photographer." I was like, don't bring me in as your creepy bridge. I was like, that sounds weird. I was like, now it sounds like I was too shy to say anything.
You don't have a creepy van, do you?
Oh God, no. Yeah, I mean.
Well, he has a band, and the band is amazing.
Yeah. You got. I mean, I'm real careful with how I would approach people. Anyway, just so I don't want. I mean, just one bad thing, and then it's all over for you. So I try to really be respectful, and I have a lot of friends, so I just ask people I'm already kind of familiar with. That way, I don't have to, go too far outside the spectrum.
Well, what's great is after the first season was launched, then all the friends were like, "Hey, I want to be in a comic."
Yeah, that's true as well. It's the initial one, and then once they say, "Okay, this isn't some sort of weird plot to murder people," it's
And what's great about season 3 is, let's say we got the intimate underground feel for the season 1 and 2. You were underground in the sewers. You met all the different creatures. It was kind of a tour, basically. But because of working, there's this sentient bacteria called the filaments, and they're kind of the driver of season 3. And we get to go to the surface, to the treatment plant. That's where all the sewage is being treated. And basically, we get to do your widescreen action sequences and using kind of just expanding the world. So we get to use how many more models did we use? We had how many new sewer workers?
We have like 9.
Yeah. So like these are the technicians and other sewer workers and staff at the MSD, which is the nickname for the Metropolitan Sewer District. So
Yeah.
that's where the mess comes from.
And so because we came ups from down below to up, I drew everything and I did everything in like watercolors, kind of like this. And I don't know if you can see that. What's interesting about that is that I did these. It was color, but the color was kind of arbitrary, and we're still doing it in black and white. But I do it in this color just so the grays will turn out different. So it's still in black and white, but that way I was like, well, here's my medium here, and it was a lot of fun for me because. And then I did a lot of stuff on I would just do stuff on tracing paper, so I could lay it on top of the drawing, and this was like a lot of the tentacles and stuff like that. So it's I did this one a lot more old school than I had before, just because I wanted a tactile feel, and I thought it could help us to maybe stand out, and I don't want, when I see somebody Frank Miller or something, I'm always like, I know his thing when I see it. So I wanted to give us a pretty strong look and make it interesting. And I think something that it would be harder. I could do it in Photoshop, but it'd be harder to do it in Photoshop. So, it's more fun to just turn off the computer and just draw.
And you really do see the growth that we have as storytellers from season 1, 2, and 3. And I mean, honestly, with season 3 coming out, I do feel like we've achieved bingeable. Is that a word? Let's say bingeable. So now. You can just sit down and just plow through all 3 seasons and just kind of immerse yourself in the world of Mist.
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's grown a lot. And I also feel that we've got more action in this one, but also because we sat down and we just did the whole season all at one time. It was weird. It was like binge drawing a little bit too, and it was more like I know what Jay wants. And I could when I look at the first one, I try to do it on Illustrator and make it all vector. And I'm like, just put on some pants, nerd, and do this thing. So I don't know. I was like, why am I doing it in vector? It's not a logo. So yeah, I'm really excited about that.
You said this one has a lot more action in it. Did you get a chance to do more multi-page spread action scenes?
Yeah, we did. We have a one that goes across a double. And I just watched a lot of horror movies. I was like, what kind of kills do I like? Yeah. So Jay kind of printed it out. So, that looks good, Jay. Yeah. So we got a lot of I'm friends with this girl who's like a female kind of bodybuilder. And I was like, I need you to, it's not going to be sexy, but you're going to fight some beasts and it's going to be really cool. And I was like, man, she was all about it. So that was really cool. I got a lot of cool friends. Oh yeah. So that's all drawn.
So this is when the filaments are coming up to the surface.
Oh yeah.
So it's not a clown. I swear, it's not a clown. That's too scary. We're not doing that. And clown are too scary. I'd rather work with sentient bacteria than a clown.
I know a lot of people the pandemic has obviously been hard on a lot of people, but it could almost be a blessing to you guys because you got to really open yourself up and do more of these hard drawings and just sit and just get in it and work.
Yeah. And Jay and I work enough together that we can call each other on the phone and sometimes I was like, man, I'm gonna have to start that over again or, something like that. But, sometimes it's funny because Jay's so thoughtful that he will send me some well, here's some, his just general ideas and it'll read as a command to me. And Jay, I'll be like, you want me to do what? He's like, I don't care. I mean, I'm just saying that's what I was thinking. I gotta take everything with a grain of salt. But it was definitely, I told some people, I said, if you've had some big project that you've always wanted to do and you didn't get it done during the pandemic, you aren't really ever going to do it. I was like, I mean, it cleared your plate off and you had all the time in the world to work on that big book, unless it was something that you had to have other people to do it. I don't know,
I would say I would say definitely with the back and forth, a lot of the distractions, because for a while we were going to Comic-Cons every other weekend, or at least 2 Comic-Cons a month. And so it definitely cleared that schedule out, but we definitely missed good opportunities to just talk to people. And that was kind of sad, but we've been trying to just substitute that with virtually reaching out to people and getting reviews and just really building it. I think that there's a lot of people doing a lot of great programming too. I think like Rodney Fike's doing drawing every Thursday. So I think that a lot of people are trying to figure out substitutions for building their brand and getting the word out about their creative work.
Yeah, I would say, and Jay and I were kind of the opposite of a lot of other artists, where we did really good in the virtual, in the real world, but in online, we were never like as like crushing it. Like we didn't sell a lot of digital copies, but we sold tons of actual comic books.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
That was fun. But we really had a spiel going where when people would come up to the booth, we could kind of like hit them with a 2-4 kind of a thing, which I would always tell people next to us was, you're going to hear a lot of the same jokes and anecdotes, but hey, we can't just make new stuff up all day.
And I will say health wise, I had that hand sanitizer under the table. I was just like,
yeah, you were already weird.
I know. I was already protected. I think I did a Comic-Con, and I forget where it was. Might have been in Columbus, and I got really sick afterwards. So like, it's just people want to shake hands, people want to, hang out, that kind of thing. So it's just like already, I think that Comic-Cons were just a place to be careful. So I
never picked up on that. I was sitting right next to you.
I'm gonna ask the history of bad ideas guys, because you guys had that table, you had that booth at the expo, and there were just a lot of flow of people.
Yes. And I don't like people in general, but I do appreciate people coming up and our listeners and that, and we do have a good time with it. But absolutely. I try to hold back from shaking hands. I hate shaking hands. I hate shaking hands in my day job, and I'm like,
if you hate shaking hands with your family.
I do. But I feel like after this,
how often do you shake hands with your wife? Is that a thing? No.
Yeah. She doesn't want to hug. Just go away. But I do feel like the best part about this whole thing is that hopefully shaking hands will never happen again, because
just bow. We're just gonna bow to everybody.
That is the way.
I'm fine with that.
They should have been doing that for 20 years or longer.
I agree. And I'm with you, Jay. I think I have like 16 bottles of hand sanitizer at my house right now. Every time I go out, buying it. And my wife's like, we literally don't go anywhere. I was like, I don't care. We still need it. We need it.
If I get sick, I always assume it was something I did. Like, I never blame the world. I'm like, yeah, I probably just ate something stupid. It was that snack I had last night.
So you called COVID? Is that what we're hearing?
Yeah, I didn't even know. I was like, whatever.
Oh man.
But I'm ready for the Comic-Cons to come back. But yes. I mean, I think it's kind of neat to just see what everybody else is doing. And I remember that when Jay and I first started going to them, I wasn't really I'd never been to any of them. So when I went and everybody was drawing like Batman and Superman, I was like, what is happening? I didn't know you were allowed to just draw copywritten stuff and sell it. I was like, what is this? I was like, God, if musicians saw this, they go berserk. And they will sue people over anything. But these guys just, oh yeah, here's a picture of Aquaman I drew. Nobody will sue me about this. I was like they would make movie posters and sell them.
Yeah.
And, they'd be like, hey, I'm making a killing on my Shining poster. And I was like, well, I hope so. Me and Jay are selling us something about no one's ever heard of.
Which has been, what's been an interesting challenge, but it's a nice focus, because at our table, we're just focused on selling the one book. And it's a series, but it's nice. Like, we don't have like 10 or 12 different stories. Like, this is our Western and this is our crime noir. It's like, if you don't like sewers and you don't like strong female leads, then, well, move on. if you don't like the books about horror or disgusting,
and then we get the gamers will come up, and I'll be like, I've got time for like one nerdy thing at a time. I can't also bridge over to another thing and be that into it. I was like,
I always feel bad for the comic book store owners because you got to figure they have the same conversation literally every time.
All day.
I mean, what do you think about the new Aquaman movie? Well, okay, here we go again.
Yeah, and I used to think I was really comic booky till I met Jay, and then I was like, oh, I was just like, I'm like a housewife who has never even read a comic book compared to him. Because I was like, one time I was like, I mean, nobody knows stuff like, what is Hawkman's real name? And Jay was like, Daniel Hawthorne.
Who knows it?
Carter Hall.
Carter Hall.
Yeah, just like that.
I thought it was Dr. Hawk. I don't know. I was like, nobody knows that. Jay did. I've never seen anything back. Oh my God, that was crazy. He probably knows Solomon Grundy's backstory.
Who does that? It's Solomon Grundy.
He's like got the whole back. He's got the like origin story of Zan and Jaina.
I'm saying sometimes these obsessions cost you. It costs you time. Yeah. It costs you money. I've got long boxes in the basement. That sounds like some murder thing, but I swear it's not.
Mine are in the attic. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like comic fans know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What's the cost of good shelving for all those all the long boxes?
You have to get bags and boards and boxes and shelves.
The question is, when do you get rid of that VCR collection or the videotape collection?
When you move houses. I did that recently, about 7 years ago.
My wife, I really need to keep that Star Wars VHS, and it's like, we don't even own a VCR anymore.
Yeah, my wife is like that. She's like, why do you need 3 copies of Star Wars? I'm like, because these are different versions. I have to have them all.
Brad, do you think he says that because it's episode 1? Or do you think it's just because you have 3?
You shush.
I'm just saying.
All I know is the internet says that my copy of Beauty and the Beast is worth something. So I can't get rid of it.
That's right.
Are you going to sell it?
It's not worth anything. The internet says it is. You can look at it. It's on sale for $200.
I'll bring my stuff to, especially my comics, certain comic series. I'll bring to Paper Street, and I'll get something for it, which is nice. But honestly, I just like turn around and just hand it back to them and like go get something new.
Yeah.
That's true.
Now, with you're working on season 3 and a new landscape of no conventions, no cons, being able to like get in person. Have you found yourself trying to connect social media, whether Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff?
Oh yeah, we've been reaching out to a lot of Instagrammers, Facebook reviewers, just really trying to get our books in front of people. And what's nice is there's no borders to that. We don't have to focus on just the tri-state area. So we've had reviews from people in Texas, in California, New York, and New York City. I mean, it's a great opportunity to spend the time to connect with people who love comics.
Yeah, and it's also been great because I think that now, like I'm always online just because I do a lot of like portraits and stuff like that, and I already worked remotely with a lot of people, but with us, I feel like we needed to kind of step it up that way, and we could get more of an international base. Because I was like, I mean, it's not really like you have to speak English to read most of there's not like that many words in it or anything like that. Which I like.
I mean, honestly, that's straight up because when you're in the sewers, what? I mean, you're going to have a monologue. I mean, what? Well, come on.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I mean, that's the best devices because Lilliput has a companion, a pet rat, kind of a partner in slime named Akka. And I mean, while they are companions and best friends, it's a great opportunity as a writer to just kind of state the obvious of what's going on sometimes.
Yeah, that's funny. I usually draw in the rat after I'm done with everything else. So like, and that's funny.
But your daughter turned you around on Akka.
Yeah, because I didn't like to draw. I was kind of a pain in the ass. And then my daughter's like, that's my favorite part. I was like, oh, all right. At Tu Brute, I was very just angry about that. But
so then
I'm not going to fight it anymore. And
then
I
realized I was rat that day that you keep in the corner now so you can.
Yeah. I just realized I just draw Templeton from Charlotte's Web over and over again. That's like that's like my genre or my era of rats. I was like, I'm not a Ratatouille guy, more of a Paul Lynn as.
You gotta read Rats and Nim. You gotta read that. I mean, that's one of my favorite movies, Rats and Nim. My God.
Secret of Nim.
Secret of Nim. Secret of Nim.
I liked that cartoon a lot when I was a kid. I was like, ooh, they get killed. Like.
It was dark. That's what
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that as a kid and being like, am I ready for this? Like, I was ready for it.
I'm not the target audience, am I?
Yeah. I was like, what? So I'm excited for this new one though, because I feel like now, like to me, this is like I told Jay, this is like our Rogue One because we're like killing people now and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, let's do this. I was like, come on.
And you're like, can we keep doing this? Keep this up. I'm enjoying this.
I told my daughter, I was like, if I was going to redo Star Wars now, all I would do was make Darth Vader's first appearance in the first Star Wars where he's covered with blood because he just chopped all those people in half. I was like, yeah, he cleaned up real quick. He was killing people.
Yeah. That's why he wears all black, because the blood doesn't stain.
Yeah, suddenly he's not chopping people in half. I was like, that's craziness to me.
Do you guys have an outline of how many seasons you want to go? Like, do you have it kind of storyboarded already, or kind of outlined on everything?
I have outlines for the next season 4 already. I was Dylan was kind of talking about it. If you had a project and you didn't get it done during quarantine, you're not going to do it. And honestly, the first 2/3 of quarantine, I kind of had a little bit of writer's block, but I'm not exactly sure how it happened. But something broke through, and I was able to really do a great outline for season 4 and possibly a little bit of season 5. I think with this, there is an arc. There are characters that are developing, but what I like about this story with Mest especially is it's about keeping the flow. I mean, sewage isn't going to stop. People aren't going to stop flushing their toilets. It's a utility. It's a service that people will always need. So in my mind, it's like Lilliput's story might end, but the flow is going to continue.
Yeah, you couldn't have a RoboCop of sewage. Like, you're not like, sorry, we're going to turn yours off. Like either everybody has it or nobody has it. Like,
quit flushing your toilets.
Yeah.
But we definitely have good outline for season 4, and once we got to get this one printed, we'll probably go right back to the drawing board.
Bring that back up
I mean, we're really quick at putting them together. Like Jay and I've got our workflow definitely works out because he just gives me the script, then I send it back to him, like you were saying, like with just stick figures, like a storyboarded out real loose, and then he tells me go yay or nay. And then usually, like if I hire a model, I'll say, oh, well, we'll give you like $20 an hour. And they're like, hell yeah. No, but I usually takes about 20 minutes for me to shoot the whole thing. Cause I'm like, right, go there. But me and Jay work on this so intensely that then when I do storyboarding, it's funny. Cause like, everything in this is like worm's eye view or bird's eye view in comic books. So when I had to do a secret ad. They were like, "This is a little intense," because it was all like, "We're gonna look up at the model right while she puts on the deodorant." Like, we're not gonna get a crane for this antiperspirant ad. And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to make it a little too dynamic."
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. Comics and storyboarding, I mean, they're so closely related. And every movie that we've ever enjoyed uses storyboarding as techniques, so they know how to set up the cameras, so they know what they're going for as far as the angles and positioning. So it's great that that experience is translated to commercial work for you. And I think that any artist just A, being able to accomplish a deadline, and B, just being able to know the stages. I mean, I know some artists that are brilliant artists, but sometimes they just spend so long on one page, they're never going to get a book done. I mean, oh my gosh, sometimes you got to just lay it all out first and then start filling it in.
Yeah. I always tell Jay, it's like, it can look like this in 27 pages. Like, I mean, I can do, this is what our budget's going to get us for 27 more times instead of, you, like you said, like I always tell the kids when they want to start out, I say, do it all in stick figures. So you at least know where the journey's going before you just start drawing one thing at a time. I think that we have a good way of looking at the whole thing as a whole first and then tightening it up.
And I mean, my scripts are not perfect. So sometimes I might have one too many actions in one panel. It's impossible for them to move forward and move back at the same time. So a lot of times Dylan can call me out on that. I'm like, oh, and honestly really help with another panel added, bridging the gap just in the story.
Yeah. Usually I add one in because I'm like, I don't know if we can show that in one picture. And I'm like, ugh, as much as I don't want to draw some more, that's fine.
Well, I want to thank Jay and Dylan. I want to thank you guys for coming on to our QuaranCon, that we're just trying to have a fun weekend to people know what you guys have going on. We really look forward to season 3. You guys are killing it so far. Season 1 and 2 were great.
Well, we're excited about this new one. I feel like this is our
more action. I mean, come on, I'm all in. When's the movie come out?
Well, it's also we have our first on-screen death too. So I was really excited, and of course, every girl I asked about it, they were like, "Well, don't kill me off." And then so finally, I got my daughter to do it because she didn't want to do it. So she was like, "I was like, I'll kill you off, so that way you'll never have to do it again." She's like, "All right, fine." She's 9 and already irritable, so I don't know. And she's so little and cute, it makes it sadder.
I have a 10-year-old. I feel your pain, Dylan.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just kill you off, sweetie. You don't even have to worry about it. Daddy's just going to impale you, and then it's over.
Yeah, but the sulking looks and stuff, that's exactly the tone for the comic book. So
she went for it, though. I was kind of like, dang, are you sure? All right.
You're screaming. I love it.
I know.
I would also say, bingeable wise, if you want to check out our website, we have the seasons there for free. And we're also on Webtoons as well. If you go to Webtoons and search for Mest, or go to our website, which is right below there, you can check out the first 2 seasons. Because honestly, we didn't want price or not being at Comic-Cons just an obstacle for you to experience this book.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys, and we wish you best of luck on the next season.
Thank you.
Now we will have it.
Yeah, we kind of this is it. We announced it. Your show.
Fine. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you
guys.
All right. So we are going to keep this rolling now. Here, let me bring everybody. There we go. We have another comic coming, the Shepherd comic. They will be coming in. Let me bring them in. There we go.
There we go.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Hello.
How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
Good. This is second time we've had you guys on. Well, first time for you, but we appreciate it. So it's been very Comic Central.
Yeah, I noticed in the comments there that Kevin Heldon of 365 Flicks podcast is apparently staying up quite late, well beyond his bedtime.
He is, and he has a couple panels tomorrow that he's pretty excited about. So
cool, very cool.
We're having fun so far. And you guys are located in Florida, correct?
Yes. Yeah. West Palm Beach. It's on the.
How's the weather out there right now?
Raining. Always.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. Every day.
It's been a lot of rain lately. Yeah.
Every day.
But at least you're in Florida. That's at least nice.
Yeah. Oh, I have no complaints. I grew up in Michigan.
I will.
So I'm happy with where I'm at.
Okay. So you guys we talked to you a couple of years now. We've always wanted to have you back because it was a really good conversation. It was back in the early days of Hobie. We've gotten maybe a little bit better, not much, but a little bit in the time. 200 episodes later.
That's why they befriended me so that I could kind of keep them in line a little bit.
That's right.
Pretty cool.
So when we first interviewed you, you only had the Shepherd out.
Right.
First series. And then you've had two other ones since then, correct? The Path of Souls and I always get Path of Dogs, right?
Right. And that's really part one and part two of a larger story arc. So they are actually really one story.
Yeah.
Okay.
The publisher chose to publish them in two separate volumes.
And I really enjoyed it because I told you back then when we first talked about it, it was a very different take on it. I did not expect some of the twists that you had with it. Go ahead and give us an idea, kind of break down what your stories are about.
Basically healing, the really bare bones answer, the core of the Shepherd stories are always just about healing.
Yeah. And I love ghost stories. So the Shepherd is definitely a ghost story. All of our stories are ghost stories. But the kind of that I enjoy are the ones that have there's a reason for the haunting. And then when that reason is exposed and in some way resolved, the haunting ceases, it moves on, and those are the kind of stories. If you like that kind of thing, one film that I would recommend that I really enjoy, I'm a big Guillermo del Toro fan. And my favorite of his works is actually one in Spanish called The Devil's Backbone. And it takes place in the Spanish Civil War, and it's very much a ghost story. Mm-hmm. And that is that kind of a ghost story where there's a very distinct reason why the haunting's taking place. Once that's exposed in the course of the story, it kind of resolves from there. But very good piece of work.
And for those unfamiliar with it, basically, there's a professor, Lawrence Miller, who loses his son to an overdose. And basically, he can't move on, I guess, if you can move on from death of a child, but and he feels like his son's soul is not, where it should be, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And he goes on this. I thought with the first Shepherd, I thought you could tell that he was angry. He was looking for revenge on the ones that he thought were responsible for it. But even at the end, he finally realized that probably is not going to help anyone in the situation. And then the second one, the Path of Souls, I like that you went towards basically how military deals with everything they see. And I thought it was a really interesting twist that even when they pass away, the soldiers, it still haunts them and they're still battling this. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Path of Souls, Path of Dogs was influenced by my wife's work. My wife works for the VA here in West Palm Beach, and she's a specialist in post-traumatic stress and dealing with therapeutic treatment. She also does other types of traumatic therapy for those who've suffered trauma, military sexual trauma, traumatic brain injury, that type of thing, very common within the military. And so I'm hearing these stories every day. And I thought, well, because we talk about ideas for the Shepherd all the time. And I thought, well, what if there was a hospital in the afterlife, like a VA in the afterlife? What would that be like? What if these soldiers that, you know, they died, like, you know, my wife treats, you know, veterans that have survived their combat or traumatic experience. But what if a soldier never got a chance to get treatment for it? So I imagine that in the afterlife that they would still need that treatment and then would eventually, you know, heal and move on. But that's really the seed idea. And so we started talking about it and we said, okay, well, you know, we don't want it to just be vanilla. Let's have like different time periods and different cultures represented, because essentially what we find is that this traumatic experience that we now call post-traumatic stress was once called shell shock. It was once combat fatigue. I mean, it's had many names down through time, but it's not exclusive to one culture. It's existed, so we said, you know, let's add, you know, different cultures, different time periods for flavor, and that's what we ended up doing. We had 4 major characters that we did. We had a Wendat, the white man called him Huron, a Wendat native warrior who died fighting the Iroquois. That was 1648. We had a Napoleonic soldier who died in Jaffa in 1799, and that would be modern day Israel, like Tel Aviv, close to Tel Aviv. Then we had a Confederate soldier that my son wrote that one all by himself. I was really proud of that. And that's 1862. And then lastly, we did a U.S. Marine who died in Fallujah, 2004, in the Second Battle of Fallujah. So that, you know, and of course we love history. So we really did a lot of work, you know, the uniforms, the weapons, the historical context of the battles that they were involved in.
With Val, Lawrence's son, he was teaming up with the Confederate soldier, and was that more? I'm trying to word it that basically the Confederacy, I guess. Well, they were kind of the rebellious ones. I mean, in theory, I mean, it even in it. But like with the son doing it, because usually you think the younger ones are always the rebellious ones. The sons are, until, you know, in the eyes of the father. Is that kind of what your motivation was for that?
I mean, pairing him with Confederates specifically, not really. It wasn't really something that I was thinking about, because like there's kind of like disagreements between Val and Lawrence, mostly about kind of like how to deal with things, but it's not like a teenage rebellion kind of thing, you know?
They've had different experiences in the scene.
Yeah, that's also really true.
Val was there beforehand. And one of the things we get into in one of the stories we're working on right now is what happened to Val when he was alone in the scene. And we find that there's a tremendous backstory of things that have occurred to him. So the eyes that he sees with in the afterlife are because he's had different experiences than his father.
Like, yeah, to put the Legio thing, right, into perspective, which, you know, for the viewers watching that haven't read The Shepherd, that's kind of like the wolf form that Val takes. That was, you know, really simply a defense mechanism. So that's kind of like I don't know, putting the quills out thing for a, you know, kind of like a porcupine, like stay away. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the differences between them are really kind of like in, you know, kind of like forgiveness. So like Val's character is definitely going to be more forgiving towards like innocent people and stuff like that. But those that he views as being kind of like the problem here, like people that are attacking other souls, especially in the afterlife, that's like there's, you know, totally different reactions from him and Lawrence.
But to speak to your specific question about the Confederate soldier, you know, one of the reasons why we paired those two characters off is because they're very close in age. So, you know, one of the things we tried to do in that story is that we envisioned that souls would be drawn to each other in the afterlife because of shared experiences. Even if, like, imagine if you existed centuries apart, if you had experienced something similar or had suffered some kind of trauma that was similar, that those souls would kind of gravitate towards each other for comfort.
Sure.
And that's in a lot of ways, that's what happens with Val and Will Brannigan, which is the name of the young Confederate soldier. He's only 16 and Val's about the same age. himself. So they have that kind of like their souls kind of like harmonized, like if they were, they could vibe together,
Mm-hmm. We were talking about it with Mess Comics just before Brad was. How has the pandemic, quarantine and that, how has that changed, or has it even changed your process with the comics?
I mean, we've been like wildly more productive, like in general. Like we, is that 2 whole books written in this time?
Yeah, we wrote 2 books. They're both being done. The artwork is, we're producing art for 2 books. Plus, Barrow here has started on a fantasy trilogy and wrote the first book of the trilogy, which is going to be illustrated as well. In fact, the artist that he's working with, her name is Jess Hara. You've seen her work at the beginning of The Path of Souls.
Mm-hmm.
Those first few pages, that's her work. So she's doing work for him. And just to put it in perspective, the first volume of the trilogy that he finished is what, 90,000 words?
It's just short of 90. It's so like 89, 600.
Comparatively
like
to what, The Hobbit?
I want to say that The Hobbit's like 90,000 words and like change, and it's like 312-page book.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends on how you format it, but like that's ballpark what you're looking at.
Yeah. So that was his first one, and he's about halfway through the 40,000 or so.
50-some thousand, 54,000 maybe.
Into the second volume.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've when you can't go anywhere, and we haven't been going to conventions, I mean, so we thought, we could sit here and cry in our beer and, or we could, decide that we're going to use this time for profitability. And, I mean,
2020 sucked for everybody else. It's been great for me.
We got a lot of things done. So, one of the things, I don't know if you notice here, one of the things is that we moved the Shepherd from Caliber Comics. We came to the end of our 5-year contract with them. And as you know, I think I edit for a number of comic book companies. I've edited, obviously, for Caliber Comics, Scout Comics, Amigo Comics, which is out of Malaga, Spain. I've also done work for Behemoth out of Texas and Action Lab. Okay. And anyway, as in the course of working with Scout, I just got to know the guys. They're in Florida too. So they're over in Fort Myers. It's basically 2.5 hours across the state. And, I keep bumping into them in Tampa and Orlando and Miami and other places. And the more we talked, the more I knew that we had in common. And I realized that I liked what I saw. And so I said, we talked about it extensively. We had new books ready, to publish. And we said, yeah, I think we're ready to move. And so we talked with them. They offered us a contract and we signed it in July. And now I'm editing for them in a big way. I right now I have on my list, 35, 38 titles that I'm editing for them. And I really like what I see. We're gonna be republishing Volume 1.
Okay.
With Scout, and they're doing it in what's called a nonstop format. And what that means is they're going to come out with individual issue 1 for collectability, and then 2 months later they'll drop the entire trade. So you're not going to have 2, 3, 4, 5. You just get issue 1, and then 2 months later. So issue 1 is going to come out in January, January 2021, and then April 2021 will be the trade Volume 1. And we've written a new 12-page introduction for Volume 1 that no one's seen before. If you don't mind, I can share my screen and let you see what this art looks like. I'm really excited about it. It is I've always been a big fan of Egyptian mythology. So we've written a mini story that involves Egyptian mythology. And so I'll show you, I'm going to share my screen here in a second as I bring this up and give you all right. Are you able to see it?
Yep. Here we go.
Okay. So this story basically takes place also in the afterlife. I mean, all of our stories basically take place in the afterlife, but this is a real temple, a real Egyptian temple called the Mednet Habu. It's near Luxor in Egypt, and it's what's called a mortuary temple dealing with death, obviously. And so the shepherd, as you can see, I'm going to blow it up so you can actually see some of this art here. I'm real proud of the art. It's done by an Italian, Luca Pansiroli. Luca is very talented, and the shepherd comes upon this temple, and then he is drawn to it because of activities that are going on in there. And see if I can bring up a couple. I'll show you a couple other pages. I don't want to show you too much, but I will show you, at least give you a look, because you can see we haven't even lettered this puppy yet. It's going to be lettered in the next few days, but it's all of these interiors are based on the real temple. So this is what the actual temple looks like. But like I said, we're setting it in the afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love the coloring of it.
Oh yeah. The coloring is done by it's an Italian woman, Pamela, and Pamela's extremely talented. Anyway, I'll show you a couple. He's going to end up, jump on this one here a little bit. He's going to come on the Egyptian mythology, a weighing of souls. I don't know if you're familiar with that, where they weigh the heart. That's what this is here, is a scale. And it's weighing, it's going to weigh this woman's heart against this feather of truth. And if her heart is heavier, then she's going to be in serious trouble. But what you can see here, if you can catch the blow-ups, is that we encounter the god Thoth and then the god Anubis, which is the with the mortuary stuff. So that's all I'm going to show you, because I don't want to blow the end, so to speak. But this is a brand new story, and it just gives you an example. All this was produced within the last couple months. Wow! And it's a 12-page introduction. And why we're excited about it is that it's going to give, this 12-page introduction is going to be a nice, concise way of saying what the shepherd does by showing it rather than telling it. So we'll be able to print this separately and then these out to people, share it digitally. We'll be able to get a sense of what we're about. But that's an example of some of the work. And we have, as I said, we have a work that's completely finished called The Valentine. And that story I'm very excited about. It's a three-issue arc. And it basically deals with the children that are left behind. You may remember in the first volume that Lawrence Miller actually has 3 kids. And the oldest son is the one that he goes after into the afterlife. But he leaves a daughter and a son, a young son, behind. And both of them are important. What we learn in that first book is that they have paranormal abilities, right? The Valentine is a story that takes place focusing in on the 2 little children that are left behind, and kind of follow their paranormal abilities, and they kind of begin to start to do work that's similar to the shepherd, but from the earth side of the equation as opposed from the afterlife side. So if you like The Sixth Sense, you'd probably like The Valentine.
That's one thing with your stories, and that you pretty much could go any time period, anything you want. You're not pigeonholed into one certain area at all, as we saw with the Egyptians.
In fact, one of the books that we wrote over the this pandemic is a book called The Burning Maid, and we just started the artwork on that. I can actually show you a little bit. I don't have to worry about showing too much in this one because I don't have that much yet, but I will show you what I have.
Way you bring this up, a question that we had in the previous panel. Have you found yourself with this, the state of the world we're in, kind of going towards more like a digital to be able to send it out to, all across the world more than, worrying on I got to print it, I got to go to conventions and, try to sell the book?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to do both because I think there are a lot of people that
I still love the feel of the paper.
Digital, and then my wife bought me a Kindle and I discovered Hoopla. I don't know if you're familiar with Hoopla.
Yep.
Oh yeah. if for the listeners, for the benefit of the listeners, I recommend you visit digitalhoopla.com. It is a library app, and if you have a library card, and if your local library subscribes, on the back of your library card, you'd have a code that you plug in, and for free, you have access to comics, movies, television shows, digital books, music. And the only limitation is you get a certain number of checkouts every month, and you check it out digitally. But the number of comics on there is just stupid. It's ridiculous. And you get to, I mean, it's like, it would be like, I have a sweet tooth, and it would be like putting me in charge of a candy store. It's not a good idea. You know, it would be ill-advised. And so that's what you have with Hoopla. But so, yeah, Scout is on a lot of these platforms. We will continue to do that, but, obviously we'll be doing, the hardcover stuff and the soft cover stuff too. So anyway, this art that I'm about to show you here is from that book, The Burning Maid. And The Burning Maid is, you were saying about the historical component the Shepherd gets into. The Burning Maid is Joan of Arc. Okay. This is in 1438 in Rouen, France. And this is a priest running for his life. And this is how the story begins. What we imagine is, Joan of Arc, everyone knows she was burned at the stake. What a lot of people don't realize is that the reason why she was burned at the stake is she was condemned by the church. And so we imagine, well, what if in the afterlife, Joan doesn't know that her name was subsequently cleared, doesn't know that she was made a saint, doesn't know that a lot of people view her as a hero for France. What if she doesn't know any of that? And what if she's pissed as hell? And that's the premise of the story, is that she's going and hunting these people, these clergymen that have abused their role, abused their power. And see here, this is one of the priests that was involved in condemning her, and she's now hunting him in the afterlife repeatedly. So
even 100 years later, that's still relevant sometimes.
Yeah. So that is the story that we are. I'll show you another piece here, but this, if you're recognizing the artist, this is Luca's work again.
I was going to say, yeah.
But we'll show you. And this is all, the artwork is all based on actual locations. Like this clock tower is a real clock tower that does exist and did exist at the time that these events take place. You can see it's midnight, which is not good. So anyway, that gives you a little glimpse of what we're doing. But the reason why I show that is, of course, to underline what you said, is that the beauty of what we have is that because it takes place in the afterlife, any person that's ever lived and any culture that's ever existed is fair game. And we intend to exploit that to the fullest.
Is there any specific culture that you're anxious to do, like you're excited to do, that you haven't done yet?
Well, I mean, do you have any? I have an answer for it, but I'm curious to see what he's saying.
I mean, in general, like a lot of the ancient cultures, having already touched on medieval France, that's a particular interest of mine. The fantasy stuff that I do is, basically in fantasy France, probably like, maybe 13th, 14th century tech, but, without guns, because honestly, I hate guns in fantasy. Can't stand it. But I'm interested in like classical Greece as well. Who doesn't like feudal Japan?
Yeah. The answer I would have given you is that I'd like to do a story in China. And the one I have in mind is dealing with the events that took place with the Japanese, what they did in Nanking. And during the early part of, we weren't actually in World War II at that stage, but it's part of that entire period. And if you don't know anything about it, let's just say it is a series of events that would be rife with ghosts. That's typically what I look for, is kind of traumatic historical events that would kind of lend themselves to, if you, like I said, if you do any reading about what the Japanese did in Nanking, yeah, I mean, there's going to be ghost stories around that. There couldn't possibly not be ghost stories associated with what happened there. So that's an idea that I have. And they're, like I said, unfortunately, what I'm learning as I research is that I don't have to make up any ghost stories. Apparently, humans are very good at being horrific to each other, and so all I need to do is plug into stories that have actually happened.
That is very true.
Yeah.
So when are your we touched on the re-release with Shepherds in January 2021, the first issue. When are the other releases come out? Do you know right now at this point?
Yeah, we are with a sub imprint of Scout Comics called Black Caravan, and Black Caravan is a horror sci-fi genre, which is why we're in it. And the guys that are heading that up have said that they're thinking in terms of releasing the first 3 volumes in 2021. Okay. So there's a good chance that you might see the Valentine by the end of 2021 if all goes well. Okay. The plan is with the Path of Souls, Path of Dogs, unlike what happened at Caliber, we're going to release that together as one novel, which is what we think is the best way to do it.
It's supposed to be together.
Yeah.
Like ideally with any of these stories, you just read them in one sitting. But yeah, like those two belong together. It's all part of the same thing.
Yeah. And so we feel like the original way of releasing them in 2 separate things actually hurt us because you kind of have this cliffhanger and now you're waiting, several months before the next one becomes available. And we feel like that didn't do us any favors. So we wanted to make sure we avoided that. Now it's going to mean that it's going to be a thick.
I think it's like 174 pages.
Something like that. I think it might even be slightly more. But
it's 174 pages of story, and then there's we've got art and stuff like that comes with it.
Yeah. So it'll be a prodigious book. The other thing we've done is we put the first 3 volumes together in a hardcover. Can you reach over and grab one? We're real proud of this. We went to the trouble of publishing, of printing these up, and then the pandemic hit. So we're sitting on them. It's a $45 hardcover, 400 pages. Mm-hmm. It's available on our website. We do have a Shepherd website. It's called theshepherdcomic.com. And if anybody wants to visit us there, but this is available. We did an initial printing of 50 copies, so there's a limited number of them. But it's about 400 pages between the story and then all the extras that are in there, essays and art gallery and lots of good stuff. So we're real proud of it. So,
and that's actually it's a better deal too if you get the hardcover, especially if you do separate it out with the other 3 too. So
yeah, it's $45. It's a hardcover, and if you did the 3 soft covers, it's like about $60. So myself, I always loved the hardcovers because I think they last longer. They look really nice on your shelf, so we really wanted to do that. And then, like I said, we got them. No sooner did we get them printed up, and then the world went to hell in a handbag. So I was like, shit, And then, ironically, I want you to see the full irony of this is that it's got the Caliber on it. Not even with Caliber anymore. So these are literally the 50 that we have, or we won't be doing it the same way. Now, when we release the next hardcover, we want to do an omnibus like this, but it'll be with obviously the Scout stuff, and it'll be different. There'll be different covers and the new pages that we've done for the volume 1 will be in that. So this is going to, there's going to be 50 of them, and then that's the end of that particular edition. So.
With the expos and the conventions not going on, do you ever dress up like the Shepherd with the staff and just walk around your house? Just because you don't do it at the convention anymore?
I mean, it's right there behind me.
Yeah.
And I have I do these shows, and it's like people are fixated on. They want me to see if I can actually show it to you here. It's about 7 feet tall, so. It lights up, and
that's awesome.
It's not light either. This is 11 pounds.
Yeah, you could brain somebody with that pretty good.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, of course, but because they tend to frown on such things. But
yeah. That when I heard when we got you on, the first thing I thought was, because I always see your photos in the conventions with dressed up, and I'm like, he's not been able to do that for 9 months now.
Yeah, so. But like I said, we keep it. I mean, once we start this up again, I'll cosplay the the Shepherd. The kids love it, and I enjoy doing it. You know, and it's a way of kind of drawing people to the table, telling about the character, and that sort of thing. So,
yeah, we hope to get you back at the Cincinnati Comic Expo eventually when there is a Comic Expo again.
I know. Yeah, it was weird watching all the different shows cancel. And we were holding out hope because for us in the area of the country we're in, the big show is DragonCon in Atlanta, and that's usually Labor Day weekend. And as things were heating up in the summer, I was like, oh, it's not going to happen. And then it didn't. They did an online thing, but it's not. It's not the same.
There's one in LA. I think they said they were trying to do in December. And that was, I think they were limited to 2,500, I think, per people per every 4 hours, I think. But I don't even know if that's going to go off with anything. But that's the first one that I've seen that they've actually come back and said they're going to try to do an convention. So hats off to them. But I think it's going to be difficult to pull off, especially with that limited amount of people involved.
It's funny because I really miss the conventions. And I think one of the things I miss the most is just really meeting the people. It's so wonderful to be around people that like the similar kinds of things. And, in the course of the conversations, you get exposed to, new books and new ideas, and you meet people. Like I was in New Orleans at the beginning of this year when we still had conventions. And I did an interview, and the guy I followed in the interview, and his name just flew out of my head as soon as I need it, but maybe you can help me. The guy who plays Constantine on television.
Oh, who is it, Brad?
I got the face, but I don't have the name.
Yeah, he's sitting 6 feet away from me, and then after he finished his interview, he came up, we talked. He asked me about my book and everything like that, and I just told him how much I really think he's the perfect Constantine, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like when I look at him, I really feel like he's a great fit for that. And we chatted. He was a wonderfully nice person, and it was just completely accidental. But that's the kind of thing that happens. Again, I'll tell you another story. My wife loves this particular story, but the true story, swear to God, true story. Back in 2018, again in New Orleans, you're 40 hours on the floor, guys. So I'm living on Diet Coke. Okay. So at a certain point, you got to pay the piper, and you're headed to the bathroom. So I walk in the bathroom, and I notice there's this big guy. I mean, big. He's like almost 7 feet tall, just a monster of a man. And I came this close to saying, it looks like you need to spend some time in the weight room, because his arms were like, big, chest, it's ridiculous. Discretion being the better part of valor, I backed off and didn't say anything. Anyway, walk in the bathroom, about to do the stuff you got to do. And I just out of the corner of my eye, I realized that I am standing, at the urinal right next to friggin' Jason Momoa.
Oh,
holy shit. Of course, I'm not going to say anything to him because, we're not going to say anything. So he walks out. I go back. My wife is there. And I say, and my daughter, and I'm like, you're not going to believe this. I just was in the bathroom with Jason Momoa. And they're like, well, did you talk to him?
Good wording on that, by the way.
And I'm like, no, because I'm standing right next to him at the urinal. So no, I didn't talk to him. They're like, well, you should have talked to him. I'm like, no. So he ends up walking around and everything. And it's just like, it's the story that my daughter and my wife love to tell is how they would have absolutely spoke to him. I'm like, yeah, it's a bro thing. We are not having this conversation. So yeah, that true story. So these kind of things happen in the
women go to the bathroom together, though,
exactly.
Which doesn't make any goddamn sense to me at all.
Anyway, there you go. There's that kind of stuff you miss. You miss these stories. You miss meeting other creators. I've had the pleasure of being across the aisle from Jay Lee and meet him. And turns out he's just a great human being, a really nice guy. Couple boosts down from David Mack. Ended up getting him he's doing a cover for The Shepherd, which by the way will be out in January. And you know, these kinds of experiences, you know, you just don't get if you don't have the shows, you know. And of course, meeting just regular people, which, you know, I love it.
And that's how Cinema Guys with Brad and us. That's how basically we got this, you know, union together, because we met at the Comic Expo, and you know, and that's one of the reasons we did this is because, you know, this is the first year, obviously, in 5-6 years that we haven't done the expo, and every year. Expo has been great to us, and they keep giving us more and more stuff to do. Last year we did a panel on stage and that, and then you know, next year we're supposed to be running the stage, and it's like every year it's been more and more fun, and especially with us, we do a lot of trivia at our booth because we're a podcast. How are you going to get people in? I mean, you know, we're a podcast, so we started doing trivia, and it's been a really good time because, like you said, people do come up to it, you know, that are just looking for fun, and they're in the same mind as you. You know, we get comic book artists that come up and that, and it's fun to just talk to them. And, you know, like you said, most of them are just regular guys that enjoy the culture as well. So that's one of the biggest things that we've missed too. I mean, especially this year.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see as things go on. You know, I'm assuming that, you know, bottom line, face masks, you know, they're going to have restrictions on food and drink. You're probably not going to be able to drink and eat walking around. It's probably going to have to be restricted when possible outside. You know, they're going to have to think through all these things. But my guess is that they will think through all those things, and they're going to have to find a way forward because, you know, you can't not do your business for only so long before you fold. So obviously you want to do it safely. And I'm very pro mask. I wear a mask every time I go outside, you know, to stores and stuff like that. And, you know, washing your hands, sanitizer, social distancing, use any weapon you got to protect, you know, yourself, your family, and other people.
I like to roll around in the mud and kiss strangers. So
I feel like I'm going to have a 50-gallon tub of sanitizer at the booth next year, and then 80,000 Lysol wipes. Anybody that comes up, I'm just going to wipe them down. Like you need to just wipe down.
Yeah. But if think about it, if that's what it takes to get the cons back, I think it's worth it, though, don't you? Yeah. I mean, especially, and we don't want these people. I don't want my fans getting sick, you know. Yeah. So I'm willing to do what I have to do to protect them. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to go back. I mean, I missed Comic Expo this year, and they're fun. It's just a fun time. It's kind of how we put this together because we wanted to kind of get some of that fun somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think really, I'll tell you this right now. I really believe in my experience now of going to conventions, a lot of them around the country. I really think that the moderate sized cons like Cincinnati are the best ones because there's not an overwhelming amount of stuff to see. You can actually have a chance of seeing it. Whereas something like, you know, Atlanta, like with as much as I love Dragon Con, I do, MegaCon in Orlando, New York City, they're so big that you almost feel like you have to move super fast just to have any chance of seeing what's out there. And I think the moderate sized conventions have the benefit is that you kind of go in knowing you can slow it down and actually engage at more of the shops and stuff like that and look at things and actually see something, you know, and not feel like, you know, well, I paid, you know, my 50, 60, whatever it is at the door. I better get my money's worth. So I need to get on my track shoes and, you know, just zooting through, you know,
my 80 aisles.
Yeah. You know, so like for me, even as a vendor, it's, believe it or not, it shows like Mississippi Comic-Con, you know, which is not that big, but the people it's in Jackson, Mississippi. The people in Jackson are great people. I mean, I love those people. They're wonderful. They love to read. I've had people come up, you know, to my booth and say, "So, tell me about the Shepherd." I'm like, "Excuse me, I'm going to have my heart attack now, and then I'll tell you all about it." Ugh. You know, but they want to read. They want to know about the titles. They're excited about artists and writers coming and, you know, presenting new things to them. And, you know, those kind of like moderate sized cons are really Pensacon in Pensacola, excellent convention, but a moderate size. They're the best ones.
I think next year everything's going to be a moderate size.
Yeah, I think by necessity.
I want to. I was gonna say I want to thank you guys for coming on the this QuaranCon that we're putting on this weekend. It was awesome to talk to you, and we look forward to what's coming out next year with everything.
Cool. And can we promise not to do like 5 years again between podcasts? I think
definitely. And
make an annual thing.
I'll tell you this: is now that I'm editing for Scout, if you want, I can feed you Scout creators.
Okay.
I can if you want for interviews and things like that. I'm more than happy. We have some really, really good people, and of course, we left Caliber, but we're friends with all those guys. I mean, I'm friends with Eric Reichert, the publisher there. I mean, we left on good terms. So we can certainly help you out with the guys from Caliber too.
Appreciate it a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, stay safe.
All right.
Yes. And hopefully we'll talk to you guys soon.
And good luck with your new quarterback too.
It's not the only
yes.
That's reason to be hopeful, I think.
Right now, he's about the highlight of the team, so that's good. That's about it. So, thank you, guys. Appreciate
All right.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, we made it through the first night, guys.
Hooray!
Jeff, I know you were worried about what a virtual con is. Now you see what it is. It's basically a podcast online with guests.
Yeah.
Just guests hopping in and out.
Yeah.
Yep. People popping in and out, and you just talk for a bit. It'll just be a lot longer tomorrow.
We start at 11 tomorrow.
Yes. Start at 11 tomorrow, 11 a.m. Who do we start with? We start with
Source Point Press and Deb.
So Source Point Press.
Deb.
We're gonna have what are some we have? We're gonna have Kevin from Nerdly Out Loud 365 Flicks is gonna come on with the lovely actresses from the Shudder movie Host.
Yes.
We are going to have Ben Clayton, the author and artist of Narwhal and Jelly. If you have kids, it's my kids, one of their favorite book series.
Yes, I'm not aware of this, but just by the title, I want to go read Narwhal and Jelly.
Oh, Narwhal and Jelly is a hoot. I will tell you that. They're just fun. We're going to have Epic Pictures and Dread Presents Ulissa from the distribution director from there is going to come on and talk about some of their movies that they're going to have.
Kevin not only has the cast of Host, 5 members of the cast of Host, but he's also going to interview director Tom Platten. Am I saying it right? I know I'm saying it wrong. Platten?
Was it Patton or Peyton?
Peyton. I think it's
there
Peyton.
You go.
He's going yellow.
Because I know I said it wrong.
Yes.
We're going to have a cosplay panel. We're going to have a few big cosplayers come on and just kind of talk about like how they pick a cosplay and some like tips that they have for people to cosplay about. Who else do we have tomorrow?
We got the author and Ghost Hunter, Jeff Morris, is going to be on too. And his girlfriend, Jen Adams, who did not do too well in trivia last year on Buffy Trivia, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, she's back for round 2. We are ready. I'm excited. And if you get on, we start at 11 a.m. tomorrow Eastern time. 11:15, we're going to be trivia with this. So if you want to win a Hail Hydra tabletop game, so that's courtesy of number 1 fan Doug. So there you go. There's the back. The art's beautiful. There you go.
Yeah,
why is Kingpin involved? It's not Hydra.
We'll be back with more games, more trivia, more fun tomorrow.
Rod and Tail.
We got all kinds of stuff.
All the stuff that you have to clear out of your house.
No, Deb sent this from Source Point Press. Look at this.
Oh, that was
tabletop games. More Rod and Tail. Look at that.
Man, we got all kinds of stuff for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be awesome.
It is. It's going to be a good time.
All right, so I think we'll sign off for the night. We had a fun first night. get us warmed up for the long day tomorrow, and we're gonna have a blast.
Jeff, thanks for filling in for me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for rocking that trivia.
Oh, well, it wasn't too difficult when the questions are already there. So.
All right, everybody watching and everybody who watches this later on.
Yes.
See you later.
Have a good night.